Hey guys, welcome to the channel. What's up with my eighth houses? I'm just sitting back chilling. It's Sunday, and I decided to watch a documentary that popped up on my algorithm in regards to um, River Phoenix. Um, I actually found um, a documentary, and I had put it up on my community tab. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't finish it. So I'm actually finishing it right now. So I just wanted to share with you guys my real time reactions. Now, I just got to a part that's real fucking juicy. Now, we're gonna cover River Phoenix. We're gonna talk about jealousy, destiny swapping, all that stuff. Just sharing you my thoughts and on my opinions. I'm gonna shout out the content creator as well. So anyway, before we get into that, okay, so I looked up River Phoenix birth chart. So River Phoenix, he was a fellow August Virgo. I'm an August Virgo, so he was a fellow August Virgo. Actually, a Leo Virgo cusper. August, he was born August 23rd. Let me look up his birth date. He's born August 23rd, 1970. Okay, so he's a very early Gen X, born at 12:03 p.m. in Madras, Oregon, in the United States. So he was a Virgo. He was a Virgo Sun, Taurus Moon. He had a Mercury in Virgo. He had a Venus in Libra. He had a Mars in Leo. So we both have a Mars in Leo, and we're both August Virgos. I believe he is a Scorpio rising, which makes a lot of sense because that's exactly what his energy was, very mysterious. So it has been said that coming, it has been said that it has been said that he was a sacrifice for Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp. So I just came to a very juicy ass fucking part. Like, damn. Now that I think about it, Johnny Depp did kind of take his swag though. Like, damn, shit, crazy man. But anyway, okay. So he was a Sun in Virgo, August 23rd. He was born August 23rd. So he was an August Virgo, and he was a Scorpio rising. So since he's a Scorpio rising and he has such heavy Scorpio energy, your rising sign is how people see you. So he was very, very mysterious, very intelligent, this and that. He grew up in a evangelical cult, like a religious cult and stuff like that, or whatever. So, anyways, so I'm gonna watch the video. I'm gonna show you guys well, tell you guys the content creator that came up with this video. I'm so glad this popped up because I like watching these like documentaries on fallen stars. So anyway, I had a download while I was watching it, and I said, you know what, fentanyl probably been around for a long time. I said fentanyl probably been around for a long time, um, and I think that's what happened to him. Now they said that he died of a speedball. Somebody gave him some bad shit, just like what they did to Whitney Houston. All that stuff. They give you some bad shit. They get you hooked on shit. Hollywood get you hooked on shit, and they give you some bad shit. So anyway, I think what happened. I think what happened to him was they gave him some bad shit, and I thought I had to download about fentanyl because I didn't really hear about fentanyl until like the 2020s. Thank you, Spirit. I didn't hear about fentanyl since till the 2020s. But I'm thinking I had to download. I was thinking, I'm like, damn, fentanyl probably been around for a very long time before us regular folks knew about it. Maybe that was their thing of choice in Hollywood to get people out, get rid of people. It was always back in the day. It was always somebody dying of a drug overdose. Always somebody found in a hotel, found in a club, this and that, and it was always overdose, overdose, overdose. And then nowadays in the 2020s, it's what pneumonia, 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 pneumonia. Like so. Anyways, yeah, brain aneurysms and pneumonia. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah. So they gave him something called a speedball. I'm gonna read something real crazy. So they gave him something called a speedball. So speedball is basically, I knew it was cocaine, but I didn't know what the other one was. So basically, an upper and a downer. So speedball is cocaine and fentanyl. So when I looked it up, I said, "Damn!" So they must have gave him that. So I said, "Damn, fentanyl been around for a long time. I didn't hear about it till recently." So they said a speedball is either cocaine and heroin or cocaine and fentanyl. So they gave him that. So anyway, before I get to reading this part right here, let me get to the part. Let's just look up his birth chart information here. Okay, so yeah, Sun in Virgo, Moon in Taurus. Okay, so he have staying power. Okay, Mercury in Virgo, okay, that speaks to his intelligence and stuff like that. Venus in Libra, Mars in Leo, Jupiter in Scorpio, Saturn in Taurus, Uranus in Libra, Neptune in Scorpio. So he was a Scorpio rising, he had Neptune in Scorpio. And then also Pluto in Virgo. He's a Pluto in Virgo generation. He had a midhaven in Leo. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the view. He has a hello. How you doing? So he has a midhaven in Leo, um, which is great. Which speaks to why he ended up being such a great actor. I mean, I liked him. I always was drawn to him as a kid and stuff like that. And when he died, I was like what 8 or 9 years old, and I remember watching a whole bunch of I used to watch a lot of Entertainment Tonight, a lot of lifestyles of the rich and famous, and entertainment news and celebrity news. I used to always watch that when I was younger, back in the '90s. So when he died in '93, I was binge watching it. You know what I mean? Like I'm the Pluto and Scorpio generation, and we grew up watching a lot of grown things. We what I mean, like our peoples didn't hide anything from us. If you're Pluto and Scorpio generation, you'll know that our people did not, our parents, our families did not hide nothing from us. They showed us how fucked up the world is. The TV showed us, the society showed us. You know what I mean? Like they didn't hide nothing from us. We were young and we were watching grown stuff. Talking to people, talking to our peoples. I mean, that's at least that's how it was for me. I was watching radar movies, grown movies, all kind of stuff. I was always into that, being around older people all the time. So yeah, being around older people all the time, you pick up on things. They know that if you are wise beyond your years, you're kind of like a young person, but you're an old soul. You know that they will kind of like introduce certain things to you, show you certain videos, movies, and books, and then they'll be like, "What do you think about it?" That's how my family was. Like, "What do you think about it? What do you think about that?" You know what I mean? So I grew up having discussions and watching things that were way beyond my years. Still enjoyed being a kid, but enjoyed watching that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, so I always have been kind of like drawn to him and stuff like that. So the older I get and the more I get into the things that I'm into, I realize some of the people of yesteryear that I felt drawn to as a young person, I end up realizing they have similar birth chart placements as me. They have similar energy, and it made so much sense. Certain artists that I like, or movies or TV shows and things that I like, I realized that when I look back on it, I was like, yeah, I was drawn to this person. They inspired this in me, and they helped me get through that. And I end up looking up the birth chart like after the fact, years later, and then I end up seeing like, damn, we had similar placements. That's why I felt a connection with their work. Anyways, River Phoenix was a Scorpio rising. That's how people viewed him. He definitely looks like a Scorpio rising. He has like piercing eyes, very handsome. I loved him in Stand by Me. Just like very piercing eyes, like a one of a kind actor, legendary actor. He had a North Node in Pisces, Chiron, and Aries. So he definitely had that wounded healer type of energy about him. So yeah. Let's get to the part. Let me get to the juicy part, honey. Mm, 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 mm. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Bitch, you ain't shit, bitch. Johnny, Johnny, you was a hating ass bitch. Let me read you this shit right here. Okay? So I'm watching the video. Let me shout out the person that made the video, okay? Fair usage and all of that thing. Hold on, let me see. Let me take it off of full screen so I can get him a shout out. All right, so the name of this channel is called The Sacrificed. Okay, The Sacrificed. Oh, there's another one too. There's another River Phoenix documentary. Okay, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. Anyway, so yeah, so the name of this channel is called The Sacrificed. So I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe, honey. Usually I don't subscribe that quickly, but something tells me I'm gonna like this channel. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna like the video and we're gonna subscribe to The Sacrifice. So you guys do the same thing. So shout out to that channel. This video came out 2 weeks ago, but it just barely popped up on my stuff. It just barely popped up on there. All right, so the name of the video is called River Phoenix Sacrificed Out of Jealousy. All right, so that's the topic of today, and I'm just doing like a little reaction. All right, okay. Um, we're already 23 minutes in. I just want to get to the juicy part. Okay, the meat and potatoes. All right, so let me read this part here. So it says, after much research, I think it's likely that Depp, as in Johnny Depp, gave the speedball cup to Frusciante. Oh, mind you, okay, so what happened with River Phoenix, he collapsed at a West Hollywood bar called the Viper Room. Ain't it funny? The Viper. Somebody snaked his ass. You feel me? The Viper, right? Anyways, so I guess that must have been Johnny Depp's place. So check this out. Okay, so after much research, I think it's likely that Depp gave the speedball cup to Frusciante. Sources say that they saw Depp and River having a heated discussion earlier in the evening. Mm, what was they talking about? What was they arguing? Aha, right. So it says Johnny Depp was jealous that River Phoenix was cast to star with his ex Winona Ryder. Oh yeah, they used to date. Yeah. So he was mad that River got casted for a movie to star with his ex girlfriend Winona Ryder at the time. They had broken up only 4 months prior in John Brumman's film called Broken Dream. When Johnny Depp stepped out to see River convulsing on the sidewalk, he went back in the club and then disappeared. That's I'm just picturing it like, yeah, that nigga finally out the way. You ain't gonna take my bitch, because I feel like if he was to be in that movie, that Winona would have totally like fell for him. Like he was so threatened. That just showed that he was really threatened by River Phoenix. Like he was really threatened by him. He was threatened by him. He knew that if he spent any time with my ex, like doing a movie with my ex, I already know Winona gonna fall for him type shit. Dang, I know she took that. I wonder how she took that. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So basically, they was arguing before the same night. It looked like the same night that River got killed. We might as well just say that he got killed. The same time he got killed was around the time that he argued with Johnny Depp, over him being starred in the movie. Okay, he took on a role. Like I mean, you mad because the man pick up a job? Like you know what I mean? He's just gonna do his job. He don't want your ex. Like you that motherfucking insecure. And I gotta look into. I gotta see why the fuck they broke up. But he probably was cheating on her ass any damn way. Shit. But anyway, yeah. You missed out. I guess he thought that. I guess he was so threatened by River that he thought that he would take his bitch, basically. Okay. So when Depp stepped out to see River convulsing on the sidewalk, so they gave him the speedball. He passed it to some guy named Frusciante. Frusciante gave him the bad shit, just like how Ray J did to Whitney Houston. Same way. That's how they always do it. Give you that little murderous cocktail. Um, it could be a speedball. It could have been some witchcraft or something. You know what I mean? It could have been something. But Johnny Depp stepped outside to see River convulsing on the sidewalk, and the nigga went right back in the club like, yeah, okay, and then disappeared like, the deed is done. RHCP shared the same lawyer as the Phoenix family. Conflict of interest. For Cianti's father, the boy that gave him the speedball cup to kill him, his father was a very respected court judge in LA. Homicide detectives never interviewed anyone about the death. So they covered that shit up, bitch. They covered that motherfucking shit up. See, everything coming out. Everything coming out now. Okay, listen. Okay, let's keep on going. We're going to listen to the rest. It's 23 minutes in. I'll let y'all watch the first 25 minutes. Just talk about his early life, and he was a part of this religious cult. I knew he dealt with some type of trauma. They said they was messing with them kids. They was, finagling with little people in that cult. So you can only imagine the stuff that he went through, man. You can only imagine the shit he went through. Man. Okay. Let's go. This was a comment that somebody screenshot. The person who typed this comment is some other YouTuber. I don't know who it is. It doesn't show it. So for their own like privacy. Hi, how you doing, Bean Bean? How you doing, Natalia? Thank you for the like. Let's keep it coming.
I knew her from from when he was like 15 and a half. He turned 16 on the movie. Till 3 days before he died was the last time I heard from a river. And then, of course, he was murdered in the Viper Room by a jealous guitar player.
He was murdered in the Viper Room. Viper. You viper. That means a snake. Somebody just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Wow, you know, damn, at the Viper Room, it's so poetic. It's so poetic. And then they said it happened on Halloween night. He sacrificed him on Halloween night at the Viper Room. So this is some type of sacrifice. Interesting.
A little drink, Samantha Mathis was
They
an
gave him a
actress who was
drink.
working. And I wrote the Man in the Iron Mask version of it for River, of course. Then
Oh, he would have been good in Man in the Iron Mask, and that would end up being Leonardo DiCaprio. River Phoenix would have played the fuck out that role. And on top of that, they said that he was going to be on Interview with the Vampire too, if he didn't have died. So it was a couple of people that was threatened by River. It was a couple of people that was threatened by him. You see how jealousy works when people see your potential and they see you don't give a fuck about it, but they know that you're destined for greatness. His Midhaven was in Leo. He was destined for greatness. He was destined for fame. Even if he didn't really care for it, he just did it because he loved for the art of doing it. But the Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio, they must have been really jealous of him, and they were threatened by him, and they saw his potential. That's what I'm saying. When people see your trajectory as an eighth houser, they will try everything to make sure that they keep you below ground. Just like, okay, so this guy said that he was writing Man in the Iron Mask for River Phoenix. He would have done phenomenal in that movie. I know he would. And not to take away anything from Leonardo, even though you sacrificed my nigga River. But anyway, bitch, you didn't do bad in that movie. You did good. I actually like that movie, Man in the Iron Mask. I love that movie. I love that movie. Love, 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 love that movie. But let's just think in an alternative universe, River Phoenix played that role. And I know he would have played the fuck out of that role. Stop playing. He had the piercing eyes. He had that long hair. Like, yeah, he would have played. He would have played that role really well. Wow, so many roles that I've seen Johnny Depp and Leonardo do that I would think and be like, damn, he would have. That would have been his shit.
River was killed, you know, and we never got to do that. Anyway, this was part of what led.
I like how he just kept it real and said, you know, he got killed. He didn't say, oh, he died of a drug overdose. Nah, he was like, nah, he got killed. I just like how he's just very matter of fact with it because it's so fucking obvious.
And his mother is covered up how he was killed. I don't want to go into that. I wasn't really going to talk about.
So the family was in on it too, y'all.
In the room. I want to concentrate in a way. Talk to River during the time that he was making that picture, and he was very upset because he felt he was being manipulated into making movies to make money for his family. And that's when I joined Facebook, and I wrote, the first thing I wrote was, "Spy on the Phoenix family, who did this to him, covered up how he died so people think he's a junkie."
That's
it was nothing like that.
Yep.
Who did this to him, covered up
you see, that's how your own fucking family will do that to you. Your own people will do that to you. They will do that to you. Your own fucking family will make you out to be something that you're not just because you don't want to make money for them. You don't want to be a slave for them. You don't want to fall in line with their toxicity, what the fuck they doing. He wanted to get out of it. He didn't, yeah, that's crazy. So the family is in on it too. So I guess, yeah, his family wanted him out the way. Some of the people in his family. He said his mom covered it up. So Johnny wanted him out the way. A couple of people wanted him out the way. And, you know what I mean? I guess they was using River as like a cash cow. He probably got depressed, and maybe that's why it probably pushed him to experiment with drugs. But yeah, the way how they made him look back then was just, oh, he's just a drug addict. He died of a drug overdose. Typical thing in Hollywood, and that's a typical thing that they do. I remember Randy Quaid said that a long time ago. There are star whackers in Hollywood. Star whackers. That's what he called them. Randy Quaid. I remember him saying that. So shit been going on for a long time, and it's the same old thing, same old little murderous cocktail that they give these people. And if they ever had at least one report of them snorting, sniffing, smoking, and doing drugs, it'll make it look justified. It'll make the death look obvious. Like, oh, okay, well he was a drug addict anyway. And I like how this guy's defending him. Like, no, he was murdered. He was murdered, and no, he was not a drug addict. You know what I mean? He was being used as a cash cow by his family, and it looked like he was a genuine person, just stuck. It looked like River Phoenix was just a genuine person, a real person, definitely a chosen one that got caught up. You know, Hold on a second. Let me go check on my stuff. Come on. All right, you guys hang on for a second. I'm gonna dish out my food. Just wait a second. I'm gonna give you some sausage and green beans too. Here you go. Fart. Yeah, we'll get you a fork. So you got it. All right, now I'm gonna just make some before it gets too. I guess I'll just eat mine in bowl. I'm just have mine in the bowl. We like to watch those vendors in different countries and stuff. We like to watch them. I don't mind a little bun rice. I got some bun yellow rice. I don't mind it at all, at all, at all. And I got some green beans and I made green beans and sausage. Some stewed chicken. My stewed chicken got sweet potatoes. All right. I finished. I done dish out my food already. You want some more gravy in your rice? There you go. Gravy makes everything better. Alright, gotta soak them pots. Y'all already know how that go, huh? Gotta soak them pots, baby. I wish I had some hot sauce. Okay. Alright, you guys. Let's get back to the T. All right, let's get back to the guy talking.
He died so people think he's a junkie. He was nothing like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Mystery still surrounds the death
He a
of
real ass
Phoenix.
friend right there.
No one is saying exactly what caused the young act.
He a real ass friend right there. He a real ass dude. He like, yeah, he was not no junkie. He was murdered. Like, I'm glad that the truth is coming out because I didn't know about this at all. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was a kid when he died, so.
To go into seizures at a nightclub and then die outside on the Sunset Strip. But suspicion is pointing in one tragic direction. Bill McGowan has the latest.
Maureen, it seems
And
like...
he looked guilty as fuck when he was talking about it in that interview. He didn't give a fuck. I could see it in his eyes, Johnny Depp. He didn't give a fuck. But yeah, he was outside now. He was convulsing and yeah, I didn't know it was him. Yeah.
The only other story New Yorkers have on their mind tonight, besides the mayoral race, is the mysterious death of River Phoenix. Especially the young people who held him up as a real role model. Now, With his death, America's youth has transformed him into an immortal legend. I hate to characterize anybody's death as a run of the mill. We take everything very seriously and look into things as thoroughly as we can. I was going to say that this case would not be atypical. He lived fast, he died young. He left a beautiful crowd in tears.
I'm sure he's in a better place right now, and it's just a really tragic loss.
I just think it's really sad that such a young, tremendous actor has to go away in such a way.
Outside the Viper Room, the nightclub on the Sunset Strip where River Phoenix died, the crowds were not waiting to get in. They were there to pay homage.
It's a tragedy. It's a shame that at a young age, this man, went through something.
Blood on the dance floor. Ain't that a damn shame? Blood on the motherfucking dance floor. Ooh, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Shame on you, Johnny. Shame on you.
So we come to give our condolences and prayers.
And all through the shadowy haunts of L.A., where River Phoenix worked and played, there was grief. Grief and resignation that this most special young actor may have fallen victim to a lifestyle.
He was a reflection of our generation, the 20-something generation. And you just have to remember all the good he's brought. And say it was drugs that killed him. I mean, who really cares? It doesn't matter. That's not going to change my opinion of him at all.
How River Phoenix died remains a mystery. The coroner says the autopsy was inconclusive.
Ha!
But there are
I bet it was. I bet it was. I bet it fucking was. They said a guy gave him the speedball is a fucking son of a fucking judge. Oh, please.
That
Of
a
course
heart
it was.
problem has been ruled out. And from coast to coast, all suspicion has centered on drugs.
Yep, drugs. That's a scapegoat.
The 911 call from his little brother set the tone.
Okay, take it easy, okay?
The witnesses stoked the fire.
I remember seeing him and he just looked completely
Out of it.
stoned. Like it was quite apparent that he was on something.
He was
And
drugged.
then there is the fireman. Los
Poison.
Angeles County Fire Captain Ray Rebar, the man who heads the paramedic team that tried to save River's life. He was quoted by the Associated Press saying he was told on the scene it was cocaine that was involved. He said, quote, "It was the classic cocaine overreaction. It just nails some people and stops the heart," end quote.
Nah, that was some bad shit. Fentanyl must have been around for a long time. We just ain't really know about it. I bet you Hollywood, them people was using it before it hit the streets.
Captain Rebar is not talking anymore. Sources tell a current affair he was reprimanded.
Ooh, that used to
Ordered
be
not
my
talk
show,
again.
bitch. That used to be my show. That's the main show I used to watch when I was younger. Current Affair. A little triangle hosted by that lady. I used to watch Current Affair, Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. Oh my God, Sightings, okay? But I used to love watching Current Affair. I love that show.
Sources tell a current affair he was reprimanded. Ordered not to talk again. Ordered not to talk again.
Not to
And
talk
today,
again.
there are many more unanswered questions.
So the person that did the autopsy was told not to speak about nothing. See? It's a cover-up. Cover-up of all cover-ups. People in high places or children, Nepo babies. And it was Nepo babies that had people in high places, people in the justice system to help them get away with the shit. They had a little Raymond Donovan fix that situation. That's what it was. That's all. Oh yeah, I need to finish watching. I think I need to see a recap. I don't feel like watching the whole series. I think I need to get a recap of Raymond Ray Donovan, that Hollywood cleanup man. That's what they did with his ass. Just like we do with all the others.
River Phoenix was at that club with that night. Christina Applegate or Samantha Mathis or Flea.
We will be talking to those people. I think the investigator's waiting for a few days. And as my understanding, he's waiting for that for the funeral to speak with them.
If drugs were involved, could the club owner be held accountable?
Well, of course, we want to talk to
He should
everybody
be.
that may have some information. But at this point, we have no idea if anybody would be
He lying.
reliable. Basically,
Right.
that's what the cause is unknown, but we get the parts of this back.
Right.
Hello, I'm River Phoenix. And if you care about animals, here's some good news.
But what is most unsettling is River Phoenix's reputation for clean living. Around Micanopy, Florida, where his family lives, River Phoenix is remembered as a down-to-earth kid who was as far from Hollywood as they come. Bob Maypeak is a recording engineer at a studio where River and his sister brought their rock band.
The fact that he was such a down-to-earth guy, he didn't put on any airs, he wasn't pretentious, he didn't expect to be treated in any different way. Quite the contrary, he was very much just a normal person.
A real August Virgo. That's how we are, real people.
She's an actress, and it was she who made a futile attempt to save River's life.
Oh, she tried, but she loved her brother.
Okay, how old is your sister? She's 19, she's 20. Okay, can you talk
She probably didn't know that her family was in on it at that time. Maybe the sister and him was real close. But somebody in the family is shady. The mama, daddy, somebody. But the little sister, she didn't know what was going on. She just tried to save her brother. That's sad.
With much respect to River and his family, the Black Room will be temporarily closed. Thank you.
The Viper Room, Johnny Depp has a shrine on his hands. It's an outpouring for another confused young kid who died for their sins.
Pouring for another confused young kid who died for their sins.
What kind of shit is that, bitch? They was really trying to spin it right there. A confused young kid who died for their sins. What the fuck? That was a weird ass thing to say.
We were so removed from the entertainment world. We didn't watch entertainment shows. We didn't have...
That's Keanu Reeves. That's interesting because Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix are both Virgos. River Phoenix is August 23rd, and I think Keanu Reeves is like September 8th. So they both Virgos. And I could see them being cool, being close, and all that. They did movies together and stuff like that. He said that they didn't really care about the entertainment world. They didn't watch entertainment shows. They were kind of like down to earth people that just be out the way. You know what I'm saying? August Virgos be out the way. People don't think so, but we be out the way. When we ready to be seen, we'll be seen. We know we're gonna be seen. We have that personal magnetism. We gonna be seen when we ready to be seen, but we don't have to be seen all the time. We just do what's necessary. You feel me? We know what comes with the territory. We just do what's necessary.
From entertainment magazines.
That's Keanu Reeves talking about.
You know, I mean, River was a really substantial actor and movie star, and we didn't really know it. And so during that time in which you're most vulnerable, there are helicopters flying over, there are people that are trying to sneak onto your land. Certainly, for me, it felt like it impeded on the mourning process, right?
It says autopsy report. Wait a minute, hold on. Autopsy report, November 1st, 1993. That's the day before the day of death. They sacrificed him on Halloween. Okay. Says acute multiple drug intoxication. So yeah, they gave him some bad shit. Yeah.
He was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, where police
Oh,
say
not
he
Cedars-Sinai.
died 50 minutes.
Oh my God, that hospital is so fucking janky. Cedars-Sinai, that's where they be doing all they fucking bullshit over there. Cedars-Sinai. Huh. Cedars-Sinai is another fancy Killer King hospital, if you ask me. I said it. Cedars-Sinai is like Killer King Hospital for celebrities. That's crazy. Every time they do some kind of bullshit and they try to kill a celebrity, they always take them to Cedars-Sinai, and that's where they die. When they had like a fighting chance, they send them right here to die. I'm telling you. Cedars-Sinai be doing all kind of weird ass shit. Yeah, I wouldn't have went to that motherfucker, but you know, he was out of it, so that's their choice. It seemed like, yeah, Cedars-Sinai is basically, yeah, it's Killer King Hospital for the celebrities.
Later.
At this point in time, the exact cause of death is still under investigation.
Los Angeles homicide detectives say an autopsy will take place in the next few days and should reveal what caused the young actor's death.
I've had a pretty good life, but very kind of random at times and exciting.
His career took off after he co-starred in the box office success Stand By Me.
It's fascinating with 50 bucks to get you at the county recorder's office. Here you go.
He played a computer whiz kid in the hit Sneakers. But the bulk of his career was spent on more small-budget, less mainstream films.
I feel sorry for myself.
My Own Private Idaho was one such film in which Phoenix played a narcoleptic teenage hustler. For this role, he won the Best Actor prize at the 1991 Venice Film Festival. The son of missionaries, he spent much of his childhood in Venezuela. Phoenix had said that upbringing influenced his acting career.
For me,
Oh, he's from
being true is all
Venezuela.
I can do, and that's all.
I figured by the name of his siblings, I figured I was like, yeah, they definitely like one of them, like hippie type of families, like tree hugger, hippie type of family. Because his name is River, he got a sister named Rainbow, I'm trying to tell.
I can do in my craft that makes it valid for me.
I have no right.
Yeah, unique childhood.
He was rewarded for his work in Running on Empty with an Oscar nomination, and he was generally thought of as a serious actor with a bright future. Tonight, police say their immediate investigation hasn't given them much information.
We just experienced River Phoenix's death, and before the Hill House Lovers, there's this self-destructive thing in happens to people, in this business or something.
Everybody dies. It's a bit of a deal. For instance, in River's case, I think it's more of a shame that he was doing something he didn't like. I think it's more of a shame that he was born than he would die. Because he didn't like this life, he didn't like this place, and he's in a better place now.
Right.
That's what I don't think death is a big deal. I don't care if I die right now. Doesn't mean I'm self-destructive. I really love life, and I think that's the only way to love life. It starts to separate the boys from the men when you see who's got that inside of them and who doesn't.
Right. Right.
When somebody becomes a good musician and the other person doesn't, it's because one is all concerned with the future and the past, and one is just right here, right now.
It's right there, right now. That's true. What this guy said right here. River Phoenix was different. Everybody else was worried about the wrong things. Worried about, fame and fortune and all that. They worried about the wrong things. And he was just living in the present. He was just doing what he loved, living in the present, and he was effortlessly good at it. Okay. Leo Virgo cuspers. August Virgos, we get the most hate. We get the most hate. Ask any high vibrational Leo Virgo cusper or August Virgo, a Virgo with Leo placements. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Yeah, you be the most hated cusp. I'm not a cusper, but I am a August Virgo, and I do have a Leo stellium in the 8th house, right? So I can understand it. I can understand a cusper. I'm cool with them. You know what I'm saying? I can understand it. But what he said was on point. Some people are too worried about the past. Some people just have it in them, and some people don't. And some people are worried about the past and the future and everything else instead of just being in the present moment and just doing what you love. And that's what River Phoenix did. He did what he loved. He wasn't willing to play by their rules and all this other stuff. He just wanted to do it just for the art, doing things because you love it. Just like with the lady that was asking him about his band, she was like, "Do you want to be famous? What's the goal?" He was like, "Nah, there is no goal." He said, "We love what we're doing, and if people like it, then they like it. If they don't, they don't." So he didn't care. He just knew that, when you know you have a gift, you don't have to trip over the logistics about shit. When you know that you're gifted, you move at your own pace when you're gifted. When you're gifted, and you're destined for greatness, you just move at your own pace and you know that your time is coming. You're not tripping. But the people that will destiny swap with you are the people that are jealous of you, the people that want the fame, they want the notoriety, they want all the things that you don't fucking care about, and they see that you're in their way. They will see that you are in their way to them, and they will try to get rid of you just like they did with him. Just like they did with him. It's crazy. And then sometimes your own family can be in on it too. They will exploit you for your gifts, and when you're no longer accessible to bestow blessing upon them, they'll work with your enemies to take your motherfucking ass out. I don't think the sister knew. She probably knew later on in life, but I don't think she knew at that time. She was just trying to save her brother. You know what I mean? So this guy's on point. He's like some people. He said it. He said a lot without saying a whole lot. I like people like that. He says just very little, but he says a whole lot in that little sentence. Some people have it. Some people have it in them. Some people don't. Who got it and who don't? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So let him finish up his statement.
Yeah. Pretty calm. And sad and doesn't give a fuck. Some people are sad and they're like, oh no, this leads to death.
And he's dying in front of them. They don't know what to do. The people in the bar don't know what to do. They watch this celebrity move around. They watch this famous person. Do we say something is happening to this famous person? Fame itself
He got set up.
kept him from getting what he needed to live.
Whether the fact that River is a celebrity, or the fact that drugs are involved, or the fact that they're terrified by this sudden turn of events, the result is the same. No one calls for an ambulance for a full 5 minutes. No one calls for an ambulance for a full 5 minutes.
What? For 5 minutes, they didn't call the ambulance on him. Damn, this is more of a setup. Like, this is crazy. It was all a setup. Wow. Nobody didn't call. Every minute counts when shit like that happened. An overdose happened, every second counts. So they didn't call for 5 minutes. Wow. Okay.
Clean-cut Hollywood image, River Phoenix had a different side. A side that was tormented by inner demons, which eventually drove him to self-destruct.
That's the narrative, but that's not the truth. That's the
No one else
narrative.
really knew, and that was the part of him that used drugs.
That's the narrative they're trying to push. Oh, he's just a troubled person that just did drugs and overdosed. He was fighting demons. Like that's a typical shit, man. Typical fucking shit. That's the same old trope that they do when they kill somebody. It's the same old shit.
Meet Rick Riojas, a musician and former heroin addict. Riojas claims he met River Phoenix in a studio jam session. Along with being an actor, Phoenix was also a guitarist for a band called Alika's Attic.
I think he used heroin when he played. I think he was more relaxed and more calm playing when he was high.
Although
Okay, he probably dibbled and dabbled, and then they use that against him. Okay, since you dibble and dabble, we'll make that the death of choice. We'll just take you out that way. You know what I mean? But we don't know if he tried to quit. We don't know if he was. You know what I mean? We don't know that.
Riojas has no proof or witnesses. He claims River approached him to buy drugs.
He would ask you for drugs.
They probably paid this nigga to say that. You never know though. But I mean, why would he have a reason to lie unless he getting paid? You know what I mean? Because they need somebody to sell the story. They need somebody to say, yeah, he was trouble. Yeah, just put him on there. Just say that just here's a couple $1,000. This nigga a former drug addict. Say like, here's a couple $1,000. Just say that you met River and River asked you for some drugs or something like that. Just say that. Oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can make the story stick. So they can, strengthen their little false narrative.
Yeah, he would ask me heroin. I couldn't see why he didn't go anywhere else, but
So
he said
basically, he would come over with money,
yeah.
and he wanted you to supply him with drugs.
And
Why is he feeding him what to say? Why is the interviewer feeding Riojas what to say? You invited him with drugs and you did it. That's what you did, right? Like you're putting words in his fucking mouth. Let him speak it. Because this nigga look like he barely remember what they want him to say.
that was basically it.
Riojas then went on to tell us that the first time he did heroin with River, the young actor just didn't seem to know what he was doing.
Well, hit himself, so to speak, you know.
What do you mean by hit?
You know, inject himself with the needle and stuff.
You showed him how.
So he didn't know how. Wait a minute. That sounds stupid as fuck. So you saying that he approached you to buy drugs and he didn't even know how to use it? I don't know about this story, man. I don't know. I don't know about this story. You saying that he came? This guy, Real Hot, say that River Phoenix came to him and said, "Hey, I want some heroin." Da da da. He like, okay, yeah, let's do it, whatever. And he didn't know how to do it. What kind of? How is that a drug addict? How is that a drug addict? Even if he was curious about it, he wanted to try it for the first time, he would have told you that. You didn't mention that. Oh, it's my first time, or I don't do it like that. I don't know how to shoot it like that. I don't know. So any person that's a drug addict that's coming in for drugs, they know exactly how to use it. So this sounds fishy. You're telling me that he approached you to buy drugs that he doesn't know how to use,
To
and
inject
he said he had to show him how to do it. That don't sound like a bona fide drug addict. Drug addicts know exactly how to get their high in. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not a mystery. It's not a struggle or obstacle. They gonna get that shit in. They gonna know how to do it, how to get high, how they want to get high.
The heroin into his arms, and yeah, he wanted to know.
So did he?
Yeah,
In front of you, shot up with heroin.
yeah, quite a few times actually.
And according to Riojas, over a period of 3 years, Phoenix would become a steady customer. And one night, River traveled over 6,000 miles just to buy drugs.
He flew in.
Damn.
When he got to my house, I found out that it was from New York. He got it. It was just hi bye, boom boom. He left. Where are you going? I'm going back to New York. And he just took off.
So he
was
only.
so unhappy with his
It
life.
seemed like he only trusted this supplier, this pusher man right here. It seemed like he only like this. I don't know, this handler, I think, but like his pusher man. So he traveled 6,000 miles just to go get it. He didn't want to buy from nobody else. He only wanted to buy from him. Interesting.
That he continued with the drug abuse until it got so bad that he finally died.
We'll call him Tom, not his real name, but Tom claims to be a close friend of River and his family for a number of years. Tom says River had a squeaky clean image as a vegetarian and a shy, private person.
Well, I suppose you can meet with someone and say, hey, we think the same way. We like each other's work. Let's do something. I guess, there's that kind of talk that goes on.
But he was a walking contradiction in terms of his own health.
How bad was his drug problem?
He looked very bad. He looked yellowed. His skin was jaundiced. His hair was hanging in his eyes. He was slurring his speech.
Tom says even River's parents could not stop his spiral into the world of drugs. In an open letter to the Los Angeles Times, River's mother, Hart Phoenix, wrote, River was not a regular drug user. He was never part of the club scene in L.A.
His parents had
Yes, that's interesting. So yeah, his mom. Now the other guy said that the mom was in on it. I don't know. So now the mom says that he wasn't. He was never out there like that. Went to party like that. He was more of a private person. Da 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 da. So I don't know. Somebody got him to go out that night. Somebody got him to go out. It probably had to been some women or something. They got him to go out that night. Oh, Johnny Depp. Yeah, come to my club. Come. Da da da. Like I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of people in on it.
absolutely no influence on his life.
The only strong influence in River's life came from his former girlfriend, actress Martha Plimpton, claims Tom. The couple starred in Running on Empty, a film that garnered Phoenix an Oscar nomination.
Oh yeah, she been in a lot of movies. This white girl right here. Yeah, she a lot of 80s movies. I used to watch a lot of 80s movies. She used to be in a lot of them.
Age of 21.
They were very happy together. And I think it was the drugs that started to take effect that changed his personality, and that was one of the reasons that Martha
She was
pulled
pretty.
away.
And the lure of a bigger high seemed to call out to River. When he asked Rick Riojas if he could get a mixture of heroin and cocaine, commonly referred to as a speedball.
I don't know. I was totally against that I don't know if it sounds weird, like I have standards or something, but and I do. I
He
think
got
it's a really
limits.
bad high. It's a bad trip. I try to talk to him about it.
Riojas claims that was the last time he saw Phoenix alive. He himself checked into a drug rehab program and now claims to be clean. But River died 6 months later of a drug overdose of a speedball.
You were the guy that supplied him. You're partly to blame for what's happened to him. Don't you feel guilty at all? Partly to blame for what happened to him. River ran his own life. He did his own thing, and if it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be someone else.
Let's take a look at the
I mean, in a way, he right. If he didn't buy it from him, he would buy it from someone else. Allegedly, 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 he would buy it from someone else. You know? Wow. Hmm.
official story. River took an 8 times lethal overdose. It was spiked in a drink given to him by.
They said that he had 8 times the overdose, and it was spiked in a drink. So somebody passed him a drink, and then my poison me drink. Mm-mm-mm. You gotta listen to that inner voice, man. They probably was doing black magic on him too, or witchcraft on him too. Cause there's a lot of magic in Hollywood. They probably was doing that too as well, to make to have him be open to addictions, and to doing mental magic to make him depressed and make him turn to drugs to numb himself, and all so that it can corroborate with their false narrative, their story about him. This is how intricate these setups can be.
John Frascante, who promptly fell for it.
Okay, so John Frusciante, that's the one that gave him the speedball.
Into the depths of depression and drug use, and almost suffered the same fate. Is that it? Is that the whole story? Nothing to see here, move along, people? Or is there more to it? I mean, perhaps Visconti was just a drug messenger, and whoever gave River the poison drink knew he would more likely take it from his friend Frascati. It's
Oh, so they gave it to him. They gave it to John Frusciante to give it to River, because River would trust to take it for him. It seemed like once River sticks with one person, once he likes a person, he just stick with them. So just like even when he was, I guess, allegedly dabbling in drugs with this guy, with this pusher, he only trusted him. He didn't go to anybody else. He could easily buy for anybody else, but I think he knew that maybe people were after him, so he didn't want to get, allegedly he didn't want to get no bad shit. So he knew that people were after him. So he, once he finds somebody that he trusts, he stick with them. He'll travel near and far to go to that one person that he trusts. So that's why I noticed about this right here. So I'm pretty sure he's like that with his friends, with his lovers, all that stuff. Like he's a very private person. So him is Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, John Frusciante. They knew that if they give him the drink, he'll take it from you. He ain't gonna take it from me. He ain't gonna take it from no random woman. He's gonna take it from you. So yeah, got betrayed by your own friends, set up and betrayed by your own friends, the people that you trust.
seems unlikely that he knew the toxic levels of the drink. Hey, who mixed it? Who was in
Who
the
made it?
original
Yeah.
possession of this concoction? Where did it originate?
Right.
Again, we don't know. Those who were there
I
never.
hope justice is served for River Phoenix. I hope that justice is served, regardless of who it is allegedly. I hope that justice is served. I hope the case is reopened. I hope that somebody get arrested for what they did. Somebody got to answer for this. There's a reason why it came up on my algorithm. It's being revisited for a reason. A lot of things that happened in the past that we thought was open and shut cases, we're going to see that it was setups from the very beginning. Our eyes are open now. It's different now. Nowadays, we're going to realize how much we've been lied to about these celebrities that just happen to die of a drug overdose or a brain aneurysm or a pneumonia and all. We're going to find out what it really is. And I hope that this will make it so that these people can be responsible and be held accountable for their criminal actions.
Come forward and
Allegedly.
those who have spoken about it publicly seem to change your story all the time. Also, if you read the autopsy report, he didn't overdose me snorting the drugs.
He didn't overdose snorting the drug.
Has maintained as a popular mainstream media rumor. The only way for him to have taken a lethal speedball and remain active, remember he was active for up to an hour until his death, would be if he were to drink it.
Drinking and
So they poisoned his drink. They spiked his drink. They put the speedball in his drink so he didn't shoot it up and he didn't snort it. Remember, the guy said that he bought drugs from him and he didn't even know how to use it. So that don't make
drug
sense.
allows for long and slow absorption of the drug into the bloodstream. It can take up to 30 minutes for a drug to hit the body's bloodstream as it makes its way through the intestinal tract.
Yeah.
And also much more lethal because he would have felt it build and become stronger. He believed that he could handle it, and by the time that he was dying,
Maybe he didn't know what he was drinking though. He didn't know what he was drinking. They put that in his drink. I don't think he knew it was he was drinking, even though he did. That's what the guy say. Allegedly, he asked about, "Oh, do you have speedball?" He said, "Oh no, I don't do all that." But I don't think that he willingly took the drink. He didn't know what was in there. Obviously, somebody put something in his drink. Clearly, obviously, somebody put something in his drink. It's pretty obvious. Damn, it's not looking good. And you see what happened with Johnny Depp years later? That him and that nasty divorce he had with Amber Heard. See, Amber Heard is his fucking karma for how he did River. Let's talk about it. Allegedly, that woman was his karma. That bitch took him through there. From what I heard, he took him through there. Shit, that's probably River Phoenix coming back in her body to give that nigga hell. Hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. When you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell.
would have been too late. Most of it was already being absorbed into his bloodstream.
Damn, they give him a nasty
Witnesses claim they
cocktail.
saw him either snort or drink something, but much of it is speculative when compared to the facts in the autopsy report. He did not snort it. Quote, no material found in his nasal passages or upper
At all.
airway. Plus,
Wow.
there are no needle tracks, so he didn't shoot it either.
So that means that guy's story isn't correct because he said that he showed him how to shoot it. I don't know. Very conflicting stories. They could have paid that guy to say anything.
Damage showed only fluid in his heart and his lungs, synonymous with opiate OD.
He had fluid in his heart and his lungs. Oh, maybe dry drowning. Opiate overdose.
He had to have swallowed it.
The damage showed only fluid in his heart and his lungs, synonymous with opiate OD. He had to have swallowed it.
It was just over a month ago that 23-year-old actor River Phoenix stumbled out of this trendy sunset nightclub known as the Viper Room and died of a massive drug overdose. Paramedics found him on the sidewalk.
He didn't have a heartbeat, didn't have a pulse.
Ever since his debut as a child star in the movie Stand By Me, River Phoenix has carved out a place for his talents, playing the young Indiana Jones, a troubled teen in My Own Private Idaho, and a computer whiz kid in Sneakers. Very few in Hollywood had risen this far, this fast.
Very few in Hollywood had risen this far, this fast.
All right, let's take a look at the comments here. Yeah, they say, okay, this is the comments that I'm reading, okay? Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Fair usage, fair usage. Motherfucking fair usage. Okay. All right, so now, okay, so it says here, Starstone33 says, yeah, they say Depp was really a part of that. And literally, if you pay attention, after River's death, Johnny started growing his hairdressing and looking just like how River was. Yeah, he basically stole his swag. The long hair, the dark, mysterious Scorpio look, and all that stuff. Because that's what drew me into Johnny Depp. I used to have a crush on Johnny Depp. That's what drew me in. I loved him in Crybaby. That's what drew me in. He definitely had like very scorpionic energy, very much scorpionic energy. And yeah, he did start dressing like River. He did start, the dark glasses, the long hair, like the dark, tall, dark, and handsome. Well, not necessarily tall, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he did start dressing like him and everything. He had a distinct style. Yep. Always swagger jacket. That's crazy, man. Wow, wow, wow. DiCaprio is linked in so much of these rituals as well. Yeah, he said Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp, yeah. It was like a sitcom or character actor getting switched out. Phoenix is out, DiCaprio's in. Yeah. These comments be juicy, y'all. Okay, Depth and Leonardo DiCaprio was in What Eating Gilbert's Grape. Yeah, they sure was. Yeah, they sure was. They sure was. What's Eating Gilbert's Grape? Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, it was released December 17th, 1993, 47 days after River Phoenix died in the U.S. and went worldwide on March 4th, 124 days after his death. So they okay. So after River Phoenix died, they did what? Who's Eating Gilbert's Grape? Depp and DiCaprio. Okay. Okay, let's see here. That's a part that fits in the gematria. Okay. No, it absolutely was not. Tell me you weren't alive in 1993 without telling me you weren't alive in 1993. I think you have it backwards. I was alive in 93. Now that is in question. He is always known for things that are sketchy. Mm. Okay, let's see some other club. The Viper Club. That's what I said, Viper. It just showed like the name of the club is very telling. Viper. He was surrounded by a bunch of fucking vipers, man. That's what it sounded like to me. John from Red Hot Chili Peppers gave him the overdose. You think so? Ooh. Okay, somebody else said allegedly. Somebody else said Johnny clearly loved River and completely fell apart after the events of this evening. When you're using these drugs and sharing with others, it can be so incredibly easy to cause harm without ever intending to at all. I'm not the biggest Chili's fan, but JF is a fascinating individual, and I hope that he's found some peace because I have no doubt that he was just trying to share something that made him feel good with his friend, like he had done a million times before. Any person wishing him torments does so at the peril of their own soul, whatever. That that's day one stuff. People take care when cursing others, lest you curse your own self. Okay. Somebody said, I'm thinking JF may have been a pawn in it. He was a friend of Rivers and he gave him the cup. Maybe the person that passed him the cup, maybe he didn't know what was in the cup. But he should have looked out for his friend and be like, hey, I don't know about this. I don't know. Maybe somebody that he trusts passed him the cup. And then he passed the cup to River Phoenix who trusts him. But there's something fishy about it. I'm gonna tell you that much. Like either he didn't know and somebody passed it to him and then he just passed it to his friend, but you're not just gonna have somebody give you a cup and be like, yeah, give it to Phoenix. Like you would be like, well, hold up, you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, he gave him the cup, but who filled the cup exactly? Accounts vary over the years, but most people say it was Depp. Unless someone comes forward, we'll never know for sure. Yeah. I remember where I heard it in a vid, maybe read it somewhere, but some years ago somebody said Phoenix River Phoenix's dad was overheard yelling at John Frusciante about what did you do to my son? Damn, so like he already knew, huh? Yeah, yeah. Think you're confusing him with Flea. I don't trust Flea either. He creeps me out for some reason. It was Frusciante. Okay. He already knows that as a rip. Okay. Oh, hell on. Somebody said Breaking Bad vibes. I know, right? Yeah, very much so. Somebody said a soul transfer. I do believe that. It was definitely some type of soul transfer type of thing. Now, I don't know Johnny Depp's birth chart. Give me. Hold on. Let me see. Let me look up Johnny Depp's birth chart. Hold on. I don't know his any of his astrology. All right. Oh, he's a Gemini. Okay. So he is a Gemini sun. Johnny Depp was born June 9th, 1963 in Owensboro, Kentucky, 8:44 a.m. He has a sun and he's a Gemini sun, a Capricorn moon, Mercury in Taurus, Venus in Taurus. They both had Earth in their chart. Mars in Virgo. Very calculated. Very calculated. Jupiter in Aries, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Virgo, Neptune in Scorpio, Pluto in Virgo. He was a Leo rising, while River Phoenix was a Leo midhaven. Johnny Depp's midhaven is in Aries. So very competitive, willing to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? He definitely doesn't turn nothing down but his collar. Okay. Yeah. Chiron in Pisces, North Node in Cancer. Okay. Hmm. Um, he's more Earth than a lot of than oh boy. Okay, okay. I'm feeling and been feeling for years. Death is a huge rabbit hole. He he lovers with he is lovers with Marilyn Manson and matching tattoos. Okay. Um, Now that you say that, that reminds me of Bruce Jenner. Kills a woman in an accident and then becomes a woman. Oh, shit. Yeah. He got away with that too. There's no repercussions, and people were asking when is he going to get prosecuted, and she never was, as I recall. There were videos, actual dash cam videos that show you everything and diagrams of his car and how it moved on the road and caused the accident. I mean, how in the world did he get away with that? The family is in the mafia. Somebody said the family. Witches copy the essence of their sacrifice by copying them. Yep, it's a known ritual. Witches copy their witches. It says witches copy the essence of their sacrifice. So they take on their energy, dress like them, talk like them, walk like them. Right. Okay. And wasn't Depp the co-owner of the Viper Room? And in the interview, Depp claimed he saw paramedics working on a young man outside on the sidewalk. Yes, he was. He partnered. He was a partner in the Viper Room. Anthony Fox disappeared right before he was due in court to sue JD. So there's that. Oh, Anthony Fox was probably like, "Bitch, you done did all this shit, nigga. I didn't ask for all this, nigga." And he just got the fuck out of Dodge. Shit, I don't blame him. Shit. Okay. Johnny Depp is super gross. He's a Luciferian like the others, allegedly. Allegedly. Amber Heard's assistant talks about Depp being in his theatrical makeup for a black mask and talking to her young son. What? These people are lame and corrupt. Yeah, they made Amber Heard look like she was the bad guy and Johnny Depp was the innocent guy. And I don't know the logistics of that. Honestly, I don't. Maybe they both was on some bullshit with each other. Maybe that was the case. But I definitely feel like Amber was his motherfucking karma, though. She gave him a run for his money because that nigga looked toe up. He ain't even fine like how he used to. If he'd have did right by River and right in life, he'd have looked better. Okay. Um, but that's weird. Wearing theatrical makeup for a black mask and talking to her son. That is strange. Very strange behavior right there. That's kind of, yeah. That nigga's a creep. I think 75% of men at that time looked like that because it was a style at that time. Doesn't mean anything. Oh yeah, some of the comments here. Someone get carried away. That's not that. Depp and DiCaprio took Rivers' persona. I think they did, but no one can really take his persona. He was too unique, and yes, it could be imitators, but nobody was like him. Oh yeah, people love the swagger jack. August Virgos. It's really bad out here for us, y'all. We the most hated sign. Hated by most September Virgos and hated by non Virgos who hate us because we are. So yeah, he was probably getting it several ways. You know what I mean? Especially him being a cusper. I'm telling you, Leo Virgo cuspers, we the most hated cusps. I'm not a cusper technically, but I can understand the cusp energy. Um, my birthday's on August 28th. He was on 23rd, so his birthday is 5 days after mine. And cuspers are typically born August 19th to August 25th. So he made the cut. I missed the cut by 3 days. But, I think every August Virgo has some residual Leo energy, right? Um, he humiliated he humiliated Phoenix that night, which led to the so-called drug dealer and his overdose, which was murder in every sense. And on Halloween, very deliberate. Yeah, just like on Takeoff. Takeoff was sacrificed on Halloween too. Yep. He humiliated Phoenix that night, which led to the drug overdose. Okay, allegedly. Okay, Johnny catapulted to stardom pretty fast around this time. Show did. Back to back movies. 503. And that is just what the official report says. Phoenix could have been sacrificed at the altar. I'm talking knife and blood filled goblet surrounded by everyone who was supposed to be his friends. Okay, that sounds dramatic, but shit, maybe so. Um, let's see. Somebody said, "You're so far wrong." It's amazing. Yeah, but never embarrassed. He was hurt. He couldn't jam with Flea. And everyone, okay. River was never embarrassed. He was hurt. He couldn't jam with Flea. And everyone, because the times for the stage was full that night. Oh, okay, so he didn't get a chance to perform. Okay. He wasn't getting on anyone's stage after that highball he took. You remember, I saw the live broadcast on the night it happened. They've been lying over the years on who was there. Who and all was there. Okay, so the night of his death, this guy says allegedly, Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Flea, J.F., John Frasanti was the one that gave River the cup. Okay, River Phoenix spit it out and asked, "What the fuck is this?" Dang, autocorrect had to edit. Oh, interesting. Sometimes autocorrect, the spirit be talking to you through the autocorrect. The sentence be creating itself and stuff. I'd be like, whoa. Humiliation ritual leads to sacrifice, especially on the night when the spiritual veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest. Halloween. Exactly. Confirms that he was sacrificed by the death cult. They were all in on it. Yeah. Freemasons, allegedly. Okay. Was a pretty big fan of River Phoenix and John Frusciante, and the story I've heard is that River was using John's drug supply, which always made sense to me. Lots of glories in this comment. Must be around something. I mean, I can see that Johnny Depp is also an incredible actor. There's space for them all. When they walk with God, imagine having to sign an agreement with the devil in order to share your God given gifts to the world. Blasphemous. But if Johnny Depp did swap destinies with River Phoenix, allegedly, then Johnny appears to be suffering for his sacrifice. He showed the fuck he is. He showed the fuck he is. He's suffering. Yeah. Amber took his ass through there. And rightfully so, I guess. Shit. Two sides to every fucking story. They try to make her look like she the bad guy. We don't know the real deal, you know? And if she did give him a hard time, good. That's what the fuck his ass get for what he did to River. Good. Shit. So it says Johnny Depp did swap. Okay, then Jeff appears to be suffering. So talented, but so wasted when you create such an atmosphere, or rather, when you contribute to the buffoonery. He's overrated. No, he is not. He is one of the best actors alive. Strange, though, that he never won an Oscar. Not true about the hair thing. That was a popular style in the 90s. A lot of grungers wore their hair like that. And there are photos on the internet of two of them when he was alive. Both of them hair was long like that. It's not just the hair, it's the way he was talking and his personality. That's what I'm saying. People are so focused on the aesthetic. Yes, he had a common aesthetic, but we're talking about his demeanor, his personality. You know, they're talking about that. People can mimic your demeanor, mimic your entire personality. It's more than dressing like you and looking like you. You know what I mean? It's more to it. His effect during interviews is very flat. He's becoming so disenamored by Hollywood. They seem to break the purest of souls. Very shameful. Yeah, I agree. Johnny or even Johnny or even while Rivers still down in the side of his club, he actually went wait. Johnny or even while Rivers was still down in the side of his club, he actually went back inside and just started drinking. He was probably jealous that it was him dating his ex or something. Yeah, that's what I think too. He didn't want him anywhere near his ex. Wow. He defended Polanski after he convicted and not even denying his crime. Then there's his friendship to Hunter S. Thompson, a snuff filmmaker, and an animal abuser, allegedly. They're disgusting demons. I hope they're going to pay for all the diabolical crimes they commit, allegedly. Keanu Reeves was there too. So why doesn't anybody talk about this? Oh, he was there? He had a rock group called Dog Star. And his ex girlfriend and baby died. So, as sweet, as humble as he is, he's still in that club. Hey, I ain't gonna put it past nobody. I ain't gonna put it past nobody. Shit. Destiny swapping is a real thing and it's done by the closest to us. Sure, it does. Depp also backed the West Memphis Three. You know, the dude who sexually abused and 1873 little boys. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he was involved. Wow, wow, really? Hmm. We just reading comments, y'all. Thank you. I have been saying this for years. How can anyone be on Depp's side for anything, especially after the WM3 debacle? Why in the world would Hollywood band together to free Satanists after they were found guilty of murdering three little boys? These rich people would have never taken the time to work so hard to free prisoners. Damien Eccles is a warlock and allegedly, a very strong one. They sought him out, and he is one of them. Depp, Eddie Vedder, the Dixie Chicks, Henry Rollins, Peter Jackson, just to name a few, are all evil trash for freeing those demonic killers. Look up the Eccles police records and psychiatric records. He is evil to the core, and the Hollywood entertainers were used to gain him access to him. The other two were just useful idiots. Damn. TTT, they dropping a lot of tea in the comments, y'all. Just curious, what's going on with Eddie Vedder? What proof do you have evidencing that he's a part of this group? Never heard of anything bad about him. Please elaborate further. Thank you. Mm. It's not just Depp, it's Keanu and DiCaprio as well. Keanu was one of River's best friends. They were in My Own Private Idaho together. Keanu was visibly upset after River's death. He called him his best friend, just so sad. It was 1993. That's how a shit ton of guys looked. Oh, I remember. Tall, skinny kid, I remember interviewing the country. It seems like that's just a style back then. Mm, okay. Left New York to Cali to go cop dope. A movie star who can get anything. In New York City, where you could buy dope at bodegas back then, River was murdered. That drug dealer drummer guy probably got paid by the CA to make up that story. Yeah, I think I don't believe that guy's story because how the fuck he gonna buy drugs from you and don't know how to shoot it up? That sounds stupid. That sounds stupid. A real drug addict would already know exactly how to get high, would know how to do it and everything, but he didn't know how to do it. So why would he come to you like that? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, they paid him to do that story. And even the interviewer was feeding stories in his mouth. Like they both knew what he was supposed to say. So he was feeding the story, trying to help him tell the story. And the boy, the nigga, like he hardly remember. And you know, he's a former heroin addict. And you know, after they've been on heroin, their mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. So he kind of confused on even what to say. You know what I mean? So yeah, that nigga lied. He was paid to lie. He barely could remember what he was supposed to say, and the interview was trying to the interviewer was trying to put words in his mouth, like trying to feed him what to say basically. The calm downs and take it easies are making me rage FYP because he isn't even so out of control that you can't understand him or anything. It doesn't sound supportive. It gives condescending. Fuck whoever that 911 operator was. I hope he got fired so he wasn't a useless rude fuck to anyone else during that time of need. He did the drugs, multiple ones. Heroin and coke will eventually kill you quick. Had a lot of friends die with needles in their arms. Add Valium and ephedrine, and a slow overdose is sadly normal. He's obviously high in some of those videos. He died from drugs he knowingly took. Adding creepy music is twisted. People my age that remember him who say I knew he didn't OD are just fans who don't like the truth. The younger people that grew up with this internet believe anything. I'm a Christian. I'm a proud follower of Jesus Christ. So I believe in the devil and the evil. But yins are so weird. thinking every Hollywood death is a sacrifice. I've lost more than 20 friends to addiction. I work construction. Young people die, especially when they get into heroin. The YouTube sleuths are ridiculous. They get all of their evidence from videos like this. The purposeful dumbing down of normal people so that WEF and similar, I don't know who WEF is, and similar interests can have their new world order is a real thing. That dumb theories like this take away from you. You are doing what the bad people want. Go outside, do something constructive, and read. Go study shit that you don't know about. Don't watch idiotic videos and take them as fact. This topic of drugs, I have a lifetime of knowledge on and still research stuff. If knowledge is power, quit being so weak and God bless anyone who's going through addiction. There's a lot of help out there. You're in my prayers. Mm, okay. That was a mouthful. Magic is real. Some rituals require blood. Hmm. Of course, the firefighter was reprimanded. He should have not been speaking publicly about any patient. He should have been fired indefinitely if HIPAA would have existed. Johnny looks like white Joe Jackson staring at all the family, asking an interviewer a question. Definitely, it was Fujiana that gave him the hot shot. Depp gave it to the hot shot to Frusciante to give it to River. Because I don't think River would take a drink from Johnny if they had words and he feel like the nigga jealous and he being weird. He ain't gonna take no drink for him. So yeah, he probably did pass it to his friend, allegedly. Next year was the autopsy of Cobain. Same controversy. Yeah, both were silenced, clearly. Okay. Living in LA in the early 90s, I got two big lessons about the difference between reality and public perception. River Phoenix was a vegan and very outspoken about clean living and criticizing the use of chemicals and pesticides. So in November of 93, when I first heard he overdosed, I didn't believe it. I seriously thought the news outlets was getting the story wrong. Then a few years later, sorry, y'all, I'm sorry guys. Then a few years later, after hearing O.J. Simpson had been arrested for murder, I remember thinking that the LAPD really screwed up. I told my sister that there was no way O.J. killed someone. Vegan taking drugs, that's hypocrisy. It's no secret how ethical and environmentally friendly drugs are and whose pockets are getting stuffed. Hmm. Damn, Keanu Reeves is smirking when he's being interviewed. Too sick. He died on the other Halloween too. I know Hollywood is shady and a lot of evil goes on there, but River Phoenix' death was by his own hands. He did a speedball and he died of an overdose. However, earlier in that year, Brandon Lee died. Oh yeah, he died in '93 too, while filming The Crow. And they say because the tip of the bullet got lodged in the gun, and I don't buy that bullshit. They killed Brandon Lee because he was the son of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee pissed off a lot of people, or could have been because they didn't want a guy that was half Chinese being a leading man in Hollywood. Remember, this was back in '93. They were very racist towards any non-white actors in those days, and still kind of that way today. Brandon Lee and Brandon Lee and had to took he was ultra it had to be took. He was ultra talented and has charisma. He was destined to be a superstar in Hollywood. Oh yeah. Then all of a sudden, on the last week of filming, the crow, he gets shot on set. First of all, why was there a real gun being used? Yeah, exactly. That was weird. Yeah, that's another one right there. That was weird. And I don't believe that they were using blinks. They probably used the real bullets. The film crew of The Crow were in on it. Brandon Lee was going to investigate his father's death, and they didn't want that to happen. They wanted him silenced. Or it could have been that they didn't want an actor who was Asian as a leading man. 1993 was a different time, and Hollywood was very white back then. And he half white, but you know, Damn, Keanu Reeves is okay. Sorry, no. It's obvious that HW is ran by a bunch of PDF files. He was used up by every demon in Hollywood. Once the doors shut, you left empty. Drugs filled that void to cope with all the soulless acts done to that child. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk says that SA'd children are at least a few times more likely to be RAP'd in adult life than their non-abused counterparts. Um, those children, but also children who were abused as kids. When introduced to the entertainment industry, they become easy prey. Yeah, because like you already been through this already. Yeah, because of his background being in a cult and stuff like that. Yeah, he was easy prey for them. Very delicate. This is what's familiar to them: chaos and pain. And their parents is usually money thirsty narcissists who sell their own kid to powerful people. Allegedly. Dude sacrificed himself. What a moron, getting hooked on drugs and ODing. His CF was getting that white China in '90s. I remember seeing the news about that stuff. I don't know what the sacrifices are for. That's the weird power. No power, no army, just money. I think sincerely Curtis 50 Cent sacrificed the young black rapper Pop Smoke. They sound too much alike, and besides, I see something else behind that damn smile of his. Yeah, they did compare him to Pop Smoke to 50 Cent. The way how he talked, the way how he sounded in his raps, he did sound like 50 Cent. Um, and I think he was a cancer too, just like 50 Cent. So yeah, they were very similar in energy. Even River, they all promoting evil gem. False prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you, who will be secretly. Wait, let me read this. This one looks like a good comment, guys. Okay, but false prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies, even denying the master who brought them, bringing upon themselves swift destruction. And two, many will follow their sensuality because of them the way of truth will be blasphemed, and in their greed they will exploit you with false words. Their condemnation from long ago is not idle, their destruction is not asleep. And for God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment. 5. If he did not spare the ancient of the well, if he did not spare the ancient world, but preserved Noah and herald of righteousness with 7 others, when he brought a flood upon the world, ungodly, 6 of it, turning the city of Sodom and Gomorrah to ashes and condemning them to extinction, making them an example of what's going on, what happens to the ungodly. If he rescued righteous, Lot, greatly disgusted by the sensual product of the wicked eight. For as the righteous man lived among them day by day, I think it's a Bible verse, he was tormenting his righteous soul over their lawless deeds that he saw and heard. Then the Lord knows how to rescue the godly from the trials and to keep the unrighteous under punishment until the day of judgment, and especially those who indulge in lust and deviling passion and despise authority. This is 2 Peter 2, verses 1 through 10. Okay. Crazy the dealer did an interview like that, yet Mac Miller's drug dealer got like 18 years to prison. Any child star in America are given drugs. I don't believe their parents always have the child's welfare at the heart of what they allow to film and entertainment of their children. Yeah. Um. Um. In say in the interview in the beginning when he has sunglasses on indoors, I can say with confidence that he is under the influence of narcotics. I wear sunglasses indoor, never touch a narcotic in my life, so could be other reasons. It's just not that. I know from experience it rang serious bells. However, I did end up questioning it throughout, and I'm curious to convince me of his choice. This music is making me sleepy time. My itis is kicking in. You see, I just ate and I'm already yawning and shit. The dad looked scary, and Rob Reiner said the father was quite hard on River. They used the children to make money. They were in a religious cult where they were SA'd. Why doesn't anyone suspect Joaquin Phoenix, his career after his brother's pass? I genuinely don't say JD has a squeaky clean record, but River's brother, has a face that screams bad vibes. Johnny and River always, Johnny and River always had the same haircut. For anyone who says Johnny then became River's like the dealer that gave a statement, in my opinion, felt staged. Just a final sweep this lie under the rug vibes and call it a good old OD. Done got you again. After all, yeah, I think that guy was paid. Yeah. After all, can't have again without a game. Can't have again. Can't have again without a game. Okay. It seems to me that he was done away with because he was biting the hand that fed. What do I mean by this? Well, he was constantly talking down about corporations and the systems programming, and he was very big on bringing awareness to people that we don't need the breakfast special to live. Environmentalist. If you know anything about Big Brother, they love to consume the environment for profit and resources while leaving us with the ash of what was. He was fighting that as well, secretly exposing what was going on within the teen era, teen area of acting. He was literally pointing a gun and firing it everywhere because he, from what I'm seeing, had awoken to the fact that they were being told that they were telling him or telling told him was good is bad, um, and he did a lot. He did all that he could with his time to try to fix it offset. It almost worked too, but someone who he didn't realize was an op caught on and relayed the situation to the higher ups, and the rest, as you say, is history. He's not the first from Hollywood to speak out strongly and get zipped. Yeah, look what he did to Heath Ledger and da da da. I mean, this goes on and on. Really, okay. This jealousy thing is laughable. Let's see. Mm. Everyone was loving his ass in the Amber Horde ordeal. Of course, he took out River. This is old news to us, once called crazy conspiracy people. About time this came to light, but oh no, not our wonderful Johnny Boy. Everyone loving his ass in the Amber Heard ordeal. Of course, he took out River, allegedly. Mm. News to me, and if I'm not mistaken, Johnny Depp was well-known actor before River. He was on 21 Jump Street. Yeah, he was. Turns out similar actors needed to fight it out and give up. They can't have too many of the same, and it tickles the creators in control. Mm. Yeah, they said he stole his voice. Johnny Depp stole River's whole personality in his voice. The audio was so hard to hear, and not sure why the overlay track was louder. Yeah, it was some audio issues in the video, so I hope you guys were able to hear something. Okay, yeah. So something was up when I saw him supporting the Paradise Lost child killers. His Viper Room's antiques speak volumes. So he supports people that do all kind of crazy little crimes and shit. Interesting, Johnny. Wow. River looks nothing like his siblings at all. I noticed that from the get go. Thought that was odd. Hmm. Yeah, he doesn't. Maybe somebody took him from his real mom. Who knows? Mm. I always knew they spiked his drink. Allegedly. Another Hollywood death that don't add up. Yet everyone keeps going on about their life like it's normal. Kurt Cobain was murdered. Can we focus on him considering Courtney Love is still out here and she's the one that did it and the evidence is stacked up? Okay. The worst thing for a victim is that they're not allowed to talk about their abuse ever. You never tell a CM what they did, or else they'll try to kill you. Mm. We all know who gave him up for sacrifice, and half he is. His best friend, also an actor, also played in a band, also handsome, also a rising star, also there that night, loved by billions to this day, known for the occult, don't we, Mr. Johnny? He was, whilst being totally brainwashed, by being raised in the cult and his parents, who was extremely intelligent, and an absolute matter of his craft and work, he would he would study for months and deep dive into the roles that he was playing, living exactly like a drug addict, would completely mirror everything for weeks and months. Yeah, he could have been method acting too. If his role was about drug addicts, so he could feel and play the part better. So honestly and truthfully and believable in every character roles. I think they didn't say character roles. He played, which is why he was so excellent at what he did. He dangerously researched and took on the roles before filming, but sometimes so deeply his actual health would be in danger. Facts. He's spoken about it in an interview and said that his close friends also spoke about it and how concerned and fearful they were for him many times. A beautiful soul destroyed early, but caught to carry on and be his true, sensitive, creative, intelligent, outspoken, free thinking self. Also shy when not in front of cameras and very private. Teenage and young adult life taken from us and himself to what was that? Himself too soon. Okay, rest in peace to River Phoenix. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people are just saying that that JD is responsible. This video didn't show that Depp had a direct involvement in River's death, but he should have been charged for allowing drugs in his club, and the club should have been shut down. For years, all fingers pointed to John Frusciante. The fact that this guy got away with it and went on to live his life while River died so young pisses me off. What what the fuck was wrong with his parents now fighting for justice for their son? Carol O'Connor went after his son's killer. River's parents were pieces of shit all the way around. Mm. Okay. Hollywood acting does not fit in at all with a hippie cult, alternative reality, holistic living, nomadic family that didn't go to school or lived in the jungles of Venezuela. Yeah, it lived like the wild thornberries. This is insane to even consider. Obviously, the family were CIA or some type of intelligence family that were on missions. The hippie family was a cover. Ah, Okay, we're going down the rabbit hole here. Thank you for this video. It was really well put together. I think I meant to say, and organized. So many great clips. Poor River. I didn't know most of what you presented. It's like Johnny Depp took over his identity and completely his personalities looks. Some like that young woman, Lady Gaga sacrifice. Oh yeah, Lena Morgana. Yeah, that's another one of my favorite sacrifices. I wonder if they got a video on that. Yeah, she sacrificed Lena Morgana. Shout out to Lena Morgana, rest in peace. I liked her music. After watching the documentary, I started listening to her music. This was back in like the 2010s when Gaga was very famous. That's when somebody came out with a video exposing her. She's still holding on to that girl music, Lady Gaga. She's still holding on to Lena Morgana's music. And Lena Morgana's mom was like, I feel like by her holding on to my daughter's music, like she's holding on to my daughter's soul or spirit. She's keeping it captive, you know? She was a songwriter for Lena Morgana, and they were on the same label with the Insane Clown Posse. Allegedly, they was on the same label. And I saw the documentary on here, and they sacrificed her. She was a sacrifice, and then next thing you know, Lady Gaga started dressing like her. She was copying off of color people. She copied off of a pop star that was all the way in another country, a Dutch pop star. She was copying off of like international artists and Lena Morgana. And she started like changing her look and being more edgy. 'Cause at first they said she was like doing jazz and all that stuff, but she ended up doing pop music and all that, like pop rock type of music or whatever. Um, but yeah, yeah, Lady Gaga, she sacrificed that girl, and the way how she died was weird too. I think they pushed her ass off of there, but I remember like really being drawn to her too. I wonder what her birth chart is. Let me see. I don't know if anybody did her birth chart. Let's see. Okay, Lena Morgana birth chart. Let's see. So Lena Morgana was a Capricorn. Let's look at this one right here. Say excuse me, Kari. Okay, Lena Morgana was born Alina Mikhalovna Korogluve, Korogluyeva. Okay, let me make sure I say this correctly. She was born Alina Mikhailovna Koroglu, Korogluveya, Kluveya, Korogluyeva, Korogluyeva on January 11th, 1989 in Russia. Okay, she Russian. Okay, was a singer-songwriter. She gained recognition as an artist before her untimely death. Tragically, she died October 4th of 2008, and then Lady Gaga came out in 2010. In New York, after falling from a Staten Island, New York hotel, her life and her career was marked by her contributions and the impact that she left. Okay, so she was a hmm, let's see. Okay, Chinese sign dragon, life path number 3. Um, hold on. Let's see. Okay, so she's a Capricorn sun, a Pisces moon. Okay, Capricorn sun, Pisces moon, Aquarius Mercury, Capricorn Venus, Mars in Aries, um, Jupiter in Taurus. Okay, Uranus in Capricorn, Neptune in Capricorn. As she's Neptune Capricorn generation, Pluto in Scorpio generation. Rahu Pisces, Ketu Virgo. Okay, okay. Yes. All right. Let's see. Um, Mexican guy who's former drug addict is clearly a bad actor. That nigga was just doing. He probably back on that shit, and he was just doing to get some money for some damn drugs again. Okay. All right. He was so gorgeous. The original '90s boy with the long hair and loose strand. It's too bad that he was a total shit lib and part of some satanic cat. He looks nothing like Joaquin either. He doesn't at all. Um, Yeah, River Phoenix didn't look like neither one of his parents. Yeah, I don't look like either one of my parents either. So we definitely have that in common. The Mars and Leo, the being an August Virgo, not looking like your parents. mm. I always had a suspicion that Johnny Depp allegedly killed River. I also heard Leonardo DiCaprio was involved. Supposedly it was Jay Frusciante that sold him out, have him, gave him the bad stuff, and it took him out. He OD'd. I think it was under Johnny's orders, allegedly. They also happened to wait to give it to him when Johnny was on stage, making it seem like he was completely uninvolved. Someone had to die for those creeps to become famous and rich. So we're saying Johnny Depp had something to do with this, and why? Because he owned the club that was an actor. I think maybe looking into the Phoenix family and exploring that would make a lot of sense. The cult in the family. R.I.P. River. I sincerely wish all who abuse children, either especially actually, have a long, drawn out, horrible death, as they earned with their vilest of deeds. I hope your spirit at least knows peace, and that your abuse and your killers will one day truly face the consequence of their actions. Itarala, and so it is, and so it shall be. I don't think much of Johnny Depp. I don't care how popular he is or was. I believe Amber Heard and sympathized with her at the trial. I didn't really follow the whole Amber Reed and thing. I just saw little clips here and there, little TMZ stuff. I didn't really follow it, but I did know they were spinning it and making her seem like she was like this evil Jezebel, whatever. So there was a lot of think pieces on that. I don't think. Oh, it's saying okay. Then you have double digit IQ. Anyone that idolizes people from Hollywood is an IQ of zero. I don't know how anyone could have watched the entire trial and believed a word she said. There was literally no evidence to substantiate all the wild claims that she made. That's why she lost. hmm Yeah, I didn't follow their divorce saga at all. All right, guys. So that is pretty much that. Um, they do have another documentary, but let's see. Let's check it out. Extraordinary. His final 24 hours.
October the 30th, 1993. On this day, a Hollywood heartthrob will die from a massive overdose of cocaine
We're going
and
to speed
heroin.
this up. I'll put it on 1.5.
Came in as a seizure up on Sunset Boulevard, Quebec.
I walked out and I literally cartwheeled over him. And he was lying on the sidewalk getting resuscitated like bare minutes.
I didn't understand what had happened. Half an hour ago, he was, seemingly no problem.
All right.
And then,
This is the story of the last 24 hours of River Phoenix.
All right, I'm gonna speed this up. This is about 52 minutes, but I'm gonna speed this up. All right, so we're gonna be on live again. Hold on, let me give me
Los
some.
Angeles, Saturday, October the 30th, 1993.
So let's talk about the final 24 hours. So we're gonna get to it. All right. Hold on a second. I'm gonna rewind it back. I just have to close my window because it just got dark outside. Closing my blinds. Closing my blinds. Closing my blinds. And what I'm also going to do is soak these pots that I just cooked in. So we got to put some soapy water and all that good stuff in there. Put some solution in there. Yeah, that was an interesting documentary. That was good. Make sure y'all subscribe to their channel, The Sacrifice. I'm gonna check out who else they got on that channel. I'm gonna check out who else they did a documentary on. I'm gonna take another spiritual bath again tonight. I took one earlier today because I accidentally skipped and missed another day. So I came back home pretty late. So I ended up just going straight to bed. I was tired. I should have hopped in the tub, but I came kind of late. So I made up for it a few hours later when I got up. Soon I got up around 8 o'clock. I took my spiritual bath again. So I'll make another one. So I could say I made 21 consecutive baths, spiritual baths. Okay. just soaking these pots, especially the rice pots that I made. I'm gonna rewind the show. I'm gonna rewind it, but just hang tight. Let me clean this out the way. I can get this all out the way so I can relax, you know? Alright. Alright. Get my ginger ale, my zero sugar ginger ale. I love zero sugar ginger ale, especially the cherry one. Everybody likes that one. Everybody come to my house, they like that one. All of my drinks in my house is zero sugar. We don't have no sugary type of drink. Everything is zero sugar. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, I got some content. I gotta do my psychoanalysis on oh, this bath is good. It smells good. I have to do a psychoanalysis on oh, I forgot to put oranges in my bath. I forgot. I have oranges, I have tangerines. One of the finishing touches that I put in my bath. Remember I told you guys, either on my main channel too, remember I told y'all to make sure y'all incorporate citruses in your bath, especially for Leo season. So for especially for when you take a bath, to incorporate oranges, tangerines, okay, and champagne in your bath for money baths, particularly money baths, prosperity baths. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of this tangerine up in my bath. I'm gonna heat it back up because I'm gonna bathe in it tonight. So that's 2 spiritual baths I took today to make up for yesterday and the day before that, just to make up for it. I don't want to, because doing it for taking a ritual bath for 21 days it takes a lot of discipline. I ain't doing too bad. To not have done this in a while, I ain't doing too bad though. You feel me? Last time I took a consecutive spiritual bath was like, I ain't gonna lie, like late 2023. Like, I'm talking about like past a week. I bathe regularly on a weekly basis, but I haven't done a consecutive one in a long time, you know? So, yeah. So I'm cutting up two tangerines and squeezing it inside the bath. Tangerines give you joy, vitality, happiness, that type of thing, optimism. So it's definitely very Leo themed. Now I am crafting a Leo themed bath, and so I already have the recipe. So I will be sharing that in my downloads in a future video. I'll be sharing that. But I did craft together a special Leo season themed spiritual bath. And you don't have to be a Leo to take it, but it's a Leo theme just to get into the Leo energy for the season. So I crafted I got the ingredients down and everything. So it's basically sticking with the color themes of the sun, sticking with spicy herbs and and the sun colors for the flowers and roses and things like that. So that, some spicy herbs, fire element herbs, and incorporating citrus fruits, okay? So I'll give you guys the full recipe soon. But citrus fruits, we're gonna get into citrus baths for a Leo season, okay? So oranges, tangerines, grapefruit, lime, lemon. We can incorporate lime too because lime is green and that is for the heart chakra. And Leo is ruled by the heart. So we can throw in a lime in there too. But an all-out citrus bath, citrus spiritual baths are really good. The limes and the lemons strip away things. And then the grapefruit, the orange, then the tangerines, they bring in things, right? So, and grapefruit, using citrus, especially grapefruit, the juice of a grapefruit, or even the essential oil versions of these, that's another way to do the bath. You could do essential oils of those items that I mentioned, or you could just do it with the actual fruit. But yeah, so it'll be that the oranges, the grapefruit. I want to try a blood orange too. Those are good. Those are decent. So I'm going to use that for the Leo bath, and it's going to be a nice citrus bath. It's going to be good for the Leo season because it's going to give you a lot of joy, a lot of optimism, a lot of what you call it, joy, optimism, vitality, energy, passion, creation, all that stuff. The spicy herbs is going to bring in the passion. The citrus fruits are going to bring in the joy. It's going to cut off a lot of bad energy, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And bring in the good stuff. You know. So, and the flowers are going to be for the love, for the heart, that type of thing. The passion as well. So yeah, high vibrations. You know, that's what represents high vibrational Leo energy. So yeah, I'm going to warm this back up, and I'm going to be taking a bath in that soon. All right, let's get back to this video. We'll have to rewind.
Children were encouraged to sleep in the same bed as their parents while they made love, and children were to be initiated into sexual practices at the age of 4.
What the hell?
Whether River was involved in any sexual practices has never been ascertained. His close friends refused it.
That's horrible.
In the shoot, it looks like River is losing the battle.
Okay, let's
maybe for an hour without moving from the chair. He had been taking drugs the night before. That was obvious.
River has an on-again, off-again drug habit, but recently he's been finding that habit harder to manage. Until today, he's been clean on set, but it's been a struggle.
I saw him during the shooting of the film. He was in that way. And I think that had more to do with the drug problem at that point. That it was a difficult film. He was having a difficult time on it. Trying to stop. Detoxing. The pressure of having to do the role when you're not physically ready. It was a really difficult time for him.
Now, for the first time on the shoot, it looks like River is losing the battle.
And I got a call on my machine, and he says, it's River. He said, maybe I can see you over the weekend. He says, I'm having a real hard time keeping my head above water. He says, in this crazy business. It was the first time I ever heard any uncertainty in River's voice.
So far, River Phoenix has had a charmed passage through Hollywood. Now, on the set of his 14th film, he's coming apart. River was 9 years old when his family moved to Hollywood. By the time he was 15, he was already getting noticed. He just had something special.
The first time I laid eyes on River Phoenix was when I was casting my movie, Night No Life of Jimmy Bird. I come from lunch and somebody said, well, you're going to meet this kid named River. I said, River, is that his real name? And she said, yeah. I said, well, she said, River Phoenix. I said, whoa, what a name. I walked into the little reception area, and this kid stood up. And as he walked over towards me, I saw this light around here. And it was like a halo, and it was a aura. I mean, and all of this happened within seconds. I just said, this is a star.
It was River's performance in the hit movie Stand By Me that thrust him into the limelight. Overnight, he became a teen idol. His face was on the cover of magazine after magazine, and he was getting thousands of fan letters every week. But River was more than just a pretty face. He could act too.
Every single take was excellent. You only did one take, or two maximum. And the enthusiasm, the intensity was there, so he was inspiring everybody else. People wanted to be around River.
I don't think I ever felt that something was false or fakey. I'm quite sensitive, I guess, to people who are either theatrical in their own way or are just saying lines which they don't understand or don't mean, they don't know. It has a lot to do with, the pauses you make when you talk and how your voice goes and so on, and how, I would say, the body and the voice and the arms and the feet and everything and the eyes are in sync. Or one thing, when you think or feel one thing, your feet should feel it too. If you don't, then you're acting the wrong way. And so, and River in that sense was absolutely an actor because I felt like his whole body was participating. Soon, River was on Hollywood's A-list. He was Oscar nominated for his role in Running on Empty, and his part in My Own Private Idaho won him the Best Actor award at the Venice Film Festival.
After just a few years in Hollywood, River was earning almost $1 million a movie, and he was a pin-up the world over. But for River, the money and the recognition was not enough in itself.
He wanted really to be good in what he did. So at that level, you might say that his fame and his success was an adversary to his peace, knowing that he was being seen, and also knowing that his family came more and more to depend on him because he was the main breadwinner for the
Damn,
clan.
he was making $1 million at a young age. $1 million was a lot of money back then, y'all. That's a lot of money back then for a young person to be making.
So again, the pressure of having to support his family, to support the bring in income, I can only imagine that it presents a kind of pressure that, so when the work stops and you're like, what am I going to do next? Where's the next job coming from? I know I get something, but, what do I do in my downtime? How do I take the pressure off? I think that's another avenue where, partying and drinking and, how that kind of life can really, present itself as a healthy alternative. This kind of like, I need this because I'm going to have to go back to work again soon. I'm going to have to stay clean for that. I'm going to have to, I just want to be me for the small period of time. And I just want to have the pressure off. He, had a lot of pressure. It's a big family to have to support, to feed, and to house, and clothe.
The pressure on his young shoulders was enormous, and from time to time he needed to escape. Music was one release. He would jam for hours late into the night, often falling asleep over his guitar. The other way he relieved the pressure was to take drugs. River had the money and the freedom to do whatever he wanted, and his friends knew he had to be watched.
With River, you always had, someone had to be there. Someone had to chaperone his drug use, and if they didn't chaperone his drug use, it was dangerous. It was always dangerous.
River has been on the set of the movie Dark Blood for 8 hours. He's on edge, feeling terrible after a late night taking drugs, and so far today all he's done is sit and wait.
It's all day to settle out as we just come back to LA and we have other sets and so the actors had to wait around most of the day for this.
Director George Slouser is watchful of his star.
I felt that I had to be sure that everything was going to go okay. It's like, it's a bit silly to say, but if you have someone who's sick, then you might take to sit down somewhere and you take care a little more because you don't know exactly how things will develop.
Finally, the cameras are ready to roll. It's time for River to perform. Of all the scenes he's ever done, the next is the one he's come to dread. He'd long idolized his co-star Judy Davis, but now he was getting a chance to work with her. She seemed to be doing everything she could to make his life a misery.
She was very difficult to work with, and we had a bad relationship. I was very irritated by the way she treated River, by making it difficult for him to act, whispering instead of talking, when you could help, but not helping. Yeah, the only time I suffered through an actress, I've never had any problems with actors ever before in my career, but she made up for 40 years or something, 30 years, because she was in a kind of way impossible, and she made it tough for River also, and complained to me many times that she was making it tough for him.
River was so sensitive, and I don't think that he maybe experienced even until that particular movie. People that weren't kind to him.
She's a weirdo, huh?
River felt the antagonism deeply. He found friends in tears. Yet for 7 long weeks he endured it, asking George Slouser to postpone the love scenes.
He asked me, can
Yeah,
I
he
play the
couldn't
scene
stand
Las
that
Vegas?
bitch.
And she, like,
No
doing this
chemistry.
halfway, touching her, and whatever. And he said, I'm getting goosebumps if I don't have to touch her arm.
Now the scene can be delayed no longer. It'll be the last of River's short life. And in just a few hours, he'll take the drugs that will leave him fighting for his life on an LA sidewalk.
Damn, I know that bitch probably feel like shit. Like, damn, bitch, you get a difficult time and he just go on and die a couple hours later. Your ass
He's on the
ain't
set of his
shit,
last
bitch.
film, Dark Blood, and he's in a bad way. He's edgy and nervous about the next scene. It's a love scene with Judy Davis, a woman he says makes his skin crawl. But so
Judy
far, 3 takes
Davis,
are in the can,
damn.
and River has held it together. Now, it's take 4.
He don't like her ass. You could tell that when it comes to like, when it comes to like a man and woman on screen, it's like it has to be the chemistry have to be perfect. It has to be believable. You gotta make the audience, the viewer, believe it. So when 2 actors, a star and a co-star, if they don't have good chemistry, the scenes just fall so fucking flat. And it's crazy that this girl was being difficult with Johnny and being difficult. I'm not sure. It just seemed like everything worked out the way it was supposed to that day. This bitch was just agitating him on purpose. Like, it just seemed like it was all lined up. He said that he creeped her out, and she creeped him out. And she probably had real bad, real nasty energy. Can you imagine, like, you trying to act, trying to do your job, and this person being difficult, just being weird, and you gotta pretend like you love them and shit like that? Yeah, that's just strange. She was trying to sabotage him.
The scene is over and the shot should have ended when the director shouted cut. But when the crew gathered 2 days later, after River had died, they realised something very strange had happened.
At the end of the fourth take, it was cut, wrap. So when the lights came down, and the river became this perfect silhouette lit by these candles, almost like you were in a church. River walked up to the camera and stood there for about 5 seconds. Then I realized, the camera was still rolling. I turned it off.
River died just hours after this shot was taken.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced through my camera. It still gives me the chills.
Wow.
Filming over, River leaves set for the night, but the day's events have left him shaken. River was emotionally fragile. The smallest thing could upset him. This vulnerability had its roots in River's childhood.
Must be triggering to have to pretend you like somebody. Because he probably had to do
River
with
spent
that in
his
his
early years
cult.
on the road in Latin America. He wasn't River Phoenix then, he was River Bottom. His parents, John and Arlen Bottom, were missionaries for a Christian cult called the Children of God. River's dad, John, held the grand title Archbishop of Venezuela and the Caribbean. They went wherever God sent them. Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. It was an unsettled existence. They had no friends, no home. Often struggling to make ends meet, they trusted in God to provide. Actually, it was often River. At the age of 5, he and his younger sister Rain were busking on the streets to feed the family. After 3 years on the road, his parents had had enough. In
So
Caracas,
he was definitely a victim of child parentification. You know, not we talk about that quite a bit on my main channel. Well, I've watched a lot of content about that too, or I've heard this concept before of or adultification of black girls. So it happens with other groups of people, and it happens with guys too. That kids be forced to be grown. You know what I'm saying? Forced to be grown at a young age, hustling for your family at a young age. It's a lot of pressure on some. It's a lot of pressure, especially on a young person in Hollywood. So did he probably dabble to cope? Probably, but shouldn't judge nobody.
threw themselves on the mercy of Father Stephen Wood.
I was at that time pastor of this church and had been a friend of the Children of God for many years. And this family showed up saying that they were needing the Children of God and needed help. They had decided that they would no longer accept the directions they were receiving from headquarters. They found them increasingly at odds with what they read in the Bible.
The Children of God would later become notorious for their ideas about sex, teaching that sex was just another way of showing God's love. Couples often swapped partners. Children were encouraged to sleep in
What? They swapped partners in this cult. What?
the same bed as their parents while they made love, and
Children were encouraged to sleep in the same bed as their parents when their parents were having intercourse. Disgusting. Nasty. Nasty. Wow. Poor thing. Oh my God, I can't imagine what this boy been through.
children were to be initiated into sexual practices at the age of 4. Where the river was
So initiate into sexual practices by 4. Yeah, having them sleep in the bed, doing all that stuff, and oh my goodness, I don't even think about it. Poor thing.
involved in any sexual practices has never been ascertained. His close friends refused to talk about it. Soon after these practices were advocated, his parents wanted out, but their decision left them stranded.
They found themselves in a foreign country with absolutely no funds, no place to live, no money to buy food for their children, and no way to get back to the United States, which was their goal. They asked for hospitality and
So basically, River Phoenix's father is basically like a white nature boy. That's what he is. A Christian white version of Nature Boy before Nature Boy.
help. Meanwhile, they would like to try to earn enough to eat off of and then to see how they would somehow get back to the U.S.
Or the white Malachi York. It's the Christian white version.
Gave them room and board, and in exchange, River and Rain performed Christian songs during Sunday service.
The most well-known was that You've Got to Be a Baby. And River sang it not just in Spanish, but also in English, French. He sang it in Japanese and Swahili. I'm not sure that he was all that great of a singer, but he was a little kid. He was a great entertainer.
Wow,
in his
just
singing.
singing Swahili?
And the fact that he could even play this.
Yeah, he could sing in what's called Spanish, French, and Swahili. That's what the guy said. Wow, very talented. So he was definitely
But River sang it not just in Spanish, but also in English, French. He sang it in Japanese and Swahili. I'm not sure that he was all that great of a singer, but he was a little kid. He was a great entertainer in his singing. And the fact that he could even play this huge guitar that was so much bigger than him was impressive. It was our most popular service, and it was literally standing room only. But he had the attention of absolutely everyone, while his little sister was out kind of working the crowd. I think on the streets where they had been trained, she would be going around asking for money. But here, we get the people to clap and to sing along.
Aww.
After 4 months, Father Wood found the family away back to Florida on a cargo ship.
They should really do a movie on him, like an indie movie on him. I don't think he wants no box office mainstream movie, but if somebody could do like a fan film, like a independent movie on him, that would be cool.
On arrival, they changed their name to Phoenix to symbolize a new beginning. But River's early years would leave their mark.
He told me he suffered from the upbringing. I guess part of his, vulnerability and fragility, which is also part of which way he's a good actor, stepping you to that background. You can become strong because you have this kind of tough childhood, or you can get obviously traumatized.
He probably was abused.
I think it's a bit of both.
River was vulnerable. He took the knocks of everyday life hard, and drugs were an easy escape. River Phoenix has just 6 hours left to live. He's had a tough day on the set of his latest film, Dark Blood. But now...
Oh, I gotta watch some of his movies. It's been a while. So this is called, this video, I forgot to shout it out. This video is called River Phoenix Final 24 Hours, Extraordinary Documentary. So this is, that's the name of the channel, Extraordinary. So, yeah. Let me just go ahead and like the video. This came out about a year ago.
Now he's back in his hotel where he can let go with his family and friends. Dickie Rude has been a close friend of River's for 2 years.
He was just in good spirits, His family was around, his brother and his sister and his girlfriend, and he was happy to be, off of the set. Things were jovial.
Dickie's wife Abby is River's personal assistant. Samantha Math has just been dating River for the last 6 months. Some of River's family have flown in to see him. Joaquin, his only brother, is here. And so is Rain, River's sister who shares his passion for music.
Yeah, Rainbow Leaf, Liberty Summer, they loved River dearly. He was the best older brother ideal you could imagine, nurturing, caring, protecting, and we go to them for advice and had, a great deal of experience with all of their emotions and differences.
There's no sign now of the stress he was under earlier on set.
It was a normal, welcome back to LA type of atmosphere. He was great.
He was turning up.
Completely on his mark. There was no clue as to any kind of haywire going on.
No.
Or potential for that.
Like on his kicking.
So far today, River has stayed clean, and that's the plan for the night ahead. He wants to keep a clear head because he's been asked to play at one of LA's coolest new clubs, the Viper Room. River is due to...
Oh, so River was supposed to perform at the Viper Room, which is Johnny Depp's club that he owns with another guy, which we read in the comments that that guy had sued Johnny Depp and disappeared off the face of the earth. Because even he knew something happened. He probably didn't know anything about it and didn't want to have nothing to do with it. But because he's a partial owner, he probably just was like, you know what I'm saying?
Here alongside one of his music heroes, but tragically, he'll never make it onto the stage. The movies dominated River's teenage life. They had to. They were his family's bread and butter. But River had grown up playing music. It was his all-consuming passion.
When he wasn't working as an actor on my movie, he was playing the guitar, or he was writing music. He was always creating. I remember going to his room a lot of times, and there was music books and song and notes and everything for his music. Because one of the memories I have is River's hair hanging down over his face, and River hanging over a guitar. And so I remember seeing him a lot, working on his, because he loved music.
Going to him meant to him more than the acting. For him, in music, he was more into music than into being an actor. He wanted to be a musician.
At 17, he got the chance to do just that. The family moved to Gainesville, a hippie town in Florida famous for its music scene. They built a large ranch just outside the town and employed Dirk Drake as the family tutor. And when Dirk first met River, he recognized a passion for music.
I up in the driveway, and there was a room that perhaps had been a garage, I'm not sure, but had big sliding glass doors, and I got out looking around. When I came through, this teenage kid pops up, and he's got an innovation guitar, and he's all excited to show me the engineering of it. I just remember thinking this kid's a musician. He's so on it, and it's so important to him to share that guitar with me. Gainesville had a thriving music scene in the mid-1980s. This was the first place that the emerging punk rock, post-punk rock scene was happening. And I think putting the band together was a primary focus in coming here. And finding musicians that would be complementary to the songs he'd written and the taste that he had.
In 1988, River formed Alec Attic with his younger sister Rain. He threw himself into writing, turned the garage into a rehearsal studio, and booked the band on a 2-week tour of the East Coast. He put everything into the band and secured a 2-year development deal with Island Records. If, in that time, the band could produce a good demo tape, they would finance an album. The band band was Rivers' plan for the future, and he desperately wanted to be taken seriously as a musician.
It was very difficult for River because he didn't want his name or his movie star status attached to his band's gigs. And it never seemed to fail. They'd get a gig at a club, and the proprietors of the club, I guess, eager to get people through the gate, mentioned, River Phoenix and his sister Rainbow. It was disappointing because he wanted his music to be taken for the music and not the music of the Hollywood star.
Right. Yeah.
Any chance River got to prove that he wasn't just a teen actor with rock star pretensions he'd left at. On his last day, he'd get such a chance. River was letting his hair down after being on set all day. He and his friends at Red Thread Hotel were marketing the town. Just after midnight, Samantha, Rain, Joaquin and River arrived at the Viper Room, Johnny Depp's club on Sunset Strip. River has brought his guitar. In the corner of the club sits a small stage. Tonight, Johnny Depp's band will be playing. Among the lineup is Flea, bass player for the Red Hot Chili Peppers and one of River's closest friends. River's planning to get up on stage and jam with some of the best musicians in town. For this, he's staying clean. Pleasant Gaiman, LA
So there's
Comics,
no
is also in the
reason.
crowd.
So somebody wanted to sabotage his performance. So they said Johnny Depp had his own band too. So yeah, they definitely was competing. He definitely was competing with him or whatever. So it looked like he was trying to sabotage Rivers' performance. Cause maybe River doing this performance in front of Flea, in front of everybody, that would have been good. That'd have been cool. You know what I'm saying? But it looked like he was sabotaged before he even got a chance to get on stage. Somebody didn't want him to get on stage.
It was very smoky and very crowded. Like a mixture of Hollywood hipsters and band people and people that just wanted to see Johnny Depp play in a band. Some giggling teeny boppy kind of girls. The rock scene then was really fertile in Los Angeles. It was a really hugely thriving underground rock scene, and the clubs had a decent crowd. They were very crowded, but they weren't overpacked with just people milling around not knowing what the hell was going on. The Viper Room was actually one of the first cool clubs that was trying not to be an underground shithole. There was big burly giant security men there with earpieces and the whole velvet rope mentality, and it was really excessive. It was really Hollywood. It was really just gross.
Oh.
Samantha, Rain, Joaquin and River find a booth at the back of the club. River's waiting to get on stage.
It looked like he just wanted to come to perform. Because they say he's not really a club type of person. But like he was just there to perform. The only way you gonna catch him in the club is if he's there to perform. Like he's not gonna just go to the club just to go. So it looked like he went there with the intent to only, perform, sit down, have a few drinks with his friends, perform, and then hurry up and leave. He wasn't trying to. You could tell he wasn't trying to be there all night. Okay. That's what I think. I don't think he was trying to be there all night. And then the mom, they said that the mom said that he's not really a club person. So he was celebrating, finished filming, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna perform tonight." Da da da. And wow, okay, let me see. Yeah, it seemed like somebody didn't want him. Obviously, Johnny or whoever didn't want him on that stage, and he clearly didn't want to drink. So that means somebody passed him a drink and told him to drink it or something. But oh, just take one drink, man. Oh no, I gotta perform. Oh no, just take one drink. Come on, just one drink. And that was that one drink.
We'll include Al Jorgensen of the Ministry, Jimmy Haynes of the Butthole Surfers, and of course Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, Flea.
River's happy. He's staying away from drugs so he can jam with his close friend Flea. But that's not going to happen.
He don't want him to do it. See? That's
River and Flea
weird.
have been great friends since they met 3 years earlier on the set of My Home Private Idaho. Flea, a sometime actor, had a small part in the film. Filming began in Portland, Oregon, and almost immediately cast and crew realized they were involved in something special. They worked hard, they played hard. River and many of the younger actors moved into director Gus Van Sant's house. The day's work on set would be followed by jam sessions late into the night. This footage was shot by River's friend, Matt Ebert.
When he and Flea met Idaho, they got along like, brother to brother. Like, they just went on and on into the sunset with it. Like, they just, played guitar
It
together
was
and really,
cool.
became
clicked.
really close friends almost immediately.
Wow, that's
He was
cool.
fascinated by River's talent as an actor, and River is a fantastic actor who was.
I think they didn't want him to go on stage and do this song with River because that was probably going to give a lot of attention. I think that would have got a lot of attention. Like, oh, River Phoenix and Flea, it would have got a lot of attention. It would have opened more doors for him in terms of his music. But somebody was so jealous of him, they didn't even want him to get on stage. Like, you ain't finna show me out. Damn. Fucked up. So, yeah, they show like a video of him and Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, them jamming out, hanging out with each other. They working on a movie during the day. They jamming out at night. They just hanging out with each other, having a good old time. Like, man, this nigga really lived, for real. They look like they was genuinely having a good time in the video. They said they were really good friends, became instant best friends That's cool to meet somebody that has the same passions as you and y'all just click. That's cool. I know he took his death pretty bad. I know that. Mm-mm-mm.
Wanting to be a musician, so it's a natural attraction and a natural source of friendship and learning for each other.
He loved him. He loved Flea. River was crazy about Flea.
From this moment on, River and Flea became inseparable, and on his last day, Flea would be with River until the very end. Inside the Viper Room, River has made his way to the stage. He's expecting to join the band, but there's a problem. Homicide detective Mike Lee later pieced together the events of the evening.
When he arrived there, there were more than enough musicians, as there quite often is in that type of situation.
So they said he could perform, but when he get there, it's a whole bunch of performers, and I guess he didn't get a chance to get on
So he
stage.
could not get
I
up
think
on
that was on
the
purpose.
stage and play that particular night. Well, he couldn't even the band to do it for
That was by design. Him not. I think they tricked him into coming there by saying that he can come and perform, because they knew that he wasn't gonna just go to the club. He wasn't that type. He was very private. So they said, okay, you can come to the club, you can come perform, and then when he got there, they switched up on him. Next thing you know, it's a bunch of people and he can't get on stage. Here, take this drink. Da, da. It was a trick to get him to go. He got tricked to go over there. This is like a little reenactment, which is pretty cool.
I heard from some of the people that we talked with that Flea was the one who said, no, you can't come up and play. Mr. Phoenix was disappointed that he wasn't able to get up and join in the jam session, and because of that disappointment, he elected to get into the drums.
River idolised Flea as a person and a musician, and was excited about playing side by side with him on stage. Now he's been shut out. He retreats into the crowd and begins to look for drugs.
So because he wasn't able to, I think they lied to him to bring him there because they were planning on killing him there. So like, tell him he can perform so he can come. When he gets here, we're gonna tell him that he can't perform. He gonna get pissed off. He gonna get mad because he got a Mars and Leo. I do too. So I remember my first open mic. I almost got in a fight because the person that invited me. I ended up making peace with him later on, but the person that invited me, she was a hating ass bitch. Okay, and she invited me to this event, and she was being weird. You know what I mean? So I was pretty heated that night. So I can only imagine how River felt that night. Like, you said I could perform. I'm only here because I perform. I'm not coming here for my health. Like, I don't think, because him and Johnny Depp obviously had tension, allegedly, because he was going to be in a movie with his ex-girlfriend, allegedly. His alleged ex-girlfriend, Winona Ryder. So I don't think he would just show up at this nigga's club unless he was coming to perform. Okay, so they lied to get him over there. They told him he could perform. When he got there, they switched up on him. They knew he was gonna be mad, and then he would probably go straight to drugs or get him a drink. Come on, man, don't be mad, man. Come on, let me buy you a drink, man. Yeah, River, come on, come get this drink, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it was all by design. You know what I mean? Like, the club was in on it. The friends that were there, or whatever, they just kind of guided the situation. It's giving very much street theater.
If you were of a mind you wanted to go ahead and party with drugs that were available, and it was your choice, whatever you wanted to do. It was not at all.
I was excited about playing side by side with him on stage. Now he's been shut out. He retreats into the crowd and begins to look for drugs.
If you were of a mind you wanted to go ahead and party with drugs that were available, and it was your choice, whatever you wanted to do. It was not at all hard to find drugs out on the strip.
There was drugs everywhere. I mean, the main things were cocaine and heroin. Plus,
He's in a place where he's super vulnerable. Like, they definitely, like, this is when they say it's a Viper room, it's a motherfucking Viper room. It's a Viper party. Ain't nothing but a motherfucking Viper party. Ain't nothing but a Viper party. No, for real, it's like, in that room, it was nothing but temptation in there. Like, things that were meant to piss him off, get his vibrations low so that they can go in for the kill. This is sick. This is sick. The setup is real. The nigga got set up. River got set the fuck up. He got set up. There's nothing but drugs inside of the club. And then he just got turned down and can't jam with his nigga, with his best friend on stage, which probably would have made his night. You know what I'm saying? He had a rough time working on the job. This is his last day on earth. He had a rough time working with some weird ass bitch at the job. She was being weird. So his spirit was already disturbed. He goes back home to the hotel, turn up with his brothers and sisters, let loose, then, meets up with Flea, I guess, at this club to go perform with, and all of a sudden he can't perform. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like things were set in motion to kind of like agitate him, and then so that he could turn to drugs, so that he could be willing to take their concoction, what they have in their cup. This is crazy.
Of early to mid 20s, you still have the hallowed misconception that you're immortal. You still look pretty. You don't really get a hangover. I mean, sure, I can do all of this. I don't need consequences.
You know what? I don't see anything. So
I know what you need.
He was disappointed, and being disappointed in something, I think we've all been there, where instead of reaching over and closing the door, you sometimes slam the door.
Right.
River is about to take the drugs that will kill him. My own private Idaho introduced
He
River
should
to
just
Flea.
went
It was
home.
also where his drug use first became dangerous. By 1989, River had played some interesting roles, but they were all safe, chosen for him by his mother and agent as suitable for the River Phoenix image. Yet River longed for something different, dangerous, and adult, longed for a role he could call his own. The script for My Own Private Idaho offered that role. This was an art house film about male prostitutes based on a play by Shakespeare, about as different and edgy as River could have hoped for.
It was very, very
I'm gonna have to
cool
watch
at that
that.
point in time in youth culture to focus on the dark side and focus on the beautiful loser and the romantic lost boys and girls of our culture. And River was attracted to that and curious about it. And this was his chance to jump into it.
Very eighth house.
His character,
River has very heavy eighth house energy. Very heavy.
Michael Walters, was a heroin-addicted rent boy, and River was determined to do the part justice. With his personal assistant, Matt Ebert, River spent days hanging with rent boys on the streets of Portland, Oregon.
Now we're mixing ourselves up with street kids and, boys and girls.
So
and
he
boys and
gets,
girls.
he like a method
The elements
actor.
there. We have dealers. We have Johns. We have, we're kind of on the underbelly of all Portland, trying to scrape up some history. We're going to bookshops and, little bathhouses and, looking for any kind of CD. We're looking for it because we have to recreate it. We have to, do it, and we want to do it right. We don't want to just, invent, this for an audience. We want to
I
create.
have
We
to
want
watch
to
that
create.
movie.
We
I
want to
think I
reflect it.
watched that before.
And we want to do it honestly. He's really into research. He was very big on okay, to learn all about these characters. We go into what they call Vaseline Alley, and we meet street hustlers, and we take them home and we interview them.
Yeah, and walking with him to turn back to, the last year. That's why, you take a piss off. What is your reaction?
Mind-boggling stuff. Like the lives you run into with this. And you're thinking, Aaron, with this, we're actually doing, trying to find out what it's like to do that. What these kids actually have to go through. And a lot of it was really painful. And I think that while it can feed an actor, it also can be dangerous. The closer you come to a really dangerous environment and situation, the closer that environment gets to you too.
One of the fundamentals of acting is research. There's a certain amount you can bring from within, but then there's a lot you need from without. And when we were on the streets of Idaho, and he was acting, and we were all acting with street kids who were literally heroin addicts, and you knew they were heroin addicts because they had drugs in their hands, and they talked about it on the film. So the River would try that would be, I can't imagine him not trying that, actually. Being as young as he was, and as brave as he was.
River had drunk before, smoked some dope, snorted some coke, but always in moderation. Now he knew no restraints.
So you had to hang out with addicts in order for him to play one.
Xanax, Valium.
So maybe that guy that said that he wanted to buy drugs from him but didn't know how to buy it, didn't know how to use it, maybe a caveat to that is maybe he was method acting when he was talking to this guy. Maybe he was method acting and was trying to get into character for a movie. It's either that or they paid the nigga to lie, or both.
Vicodin, Percocet, drug after drug after pill after pill after pill, smoking pot, drinking alcohol, snorting cocaine, snorting heroin, or smoking heroin. We did a lot of drugs. We did a lot of drugs.
Oh, wow.
What had started as character research was now becoming much more dangerous.
We're not made of Teflon. We're skin and bones. And, I think that's when, that's when his addiction really started to take off.
However hard he battled it, the urge would always be there. In moments of stress or anxiety, temptation would be hard to resist. The Viper Room, the club which will become infamous in less than 1 hour, is nearing capacity as Johnny Depp's band gets going. Upset that he
both
couldn't go
got
on
a
stage in
band.
Jam with Flea,
See?
Rivers scored some drugs. He heads into the bathroom to collect.
Here he is coming off a period of
Damn,
dry
man, I
spell.
wish he would have
He's
just
working on
went
a
home.
movie and it's not going well.
I just wish in some alternate universe that's what happened, but I wish he would have just been. I know people try to piss you off, people try to hate you when it comes to like open mics and live performances. I get it. I went through that myself. You just go home. That's what I did. I went straight home. I didn't stick around for anybody to call their peoples and this and that. We just left. You know what I mean? You don't. The longer you stay, the more trouble you can get in. The longer you stay, he should have just left. Like he could have just been like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. But there was somebody there waiting for him. Hey man, what's up? You okay? I got just the thing for you. I got some stuff for you. Come on, man. Come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe he did try to go home, but they probably convinced him. He was like, all right, fuck it. You know.
And he's frustrated and he needs release and he needs to relax. And all he can think of to do is, go out and get loaded.
Rain, Joaquin, and Rivers' girlfriend, Samantha Mathis, are in a booth at the back of the club. They're completely unaware of the horror that's about to unfold.
He ingested a quantity of drug that appeared to be heroin and cocaine in powder form.
They said it wasn't no snorting.
And the reaction is almost
They said it was drinking. Nah, they said it was drinking. It was a drink.
River has snorted a speedball.
I can see a little stain in the toilet.
When it works great. When it doesn't work, you die. That's like Russian roulette.
Several sources tell me that the words were, this is too much, or words almost to that effect, too much.
River is clearly in trouble. Someone offers him a Valium to calm him down. His heart is beating wildly, misfiring. The cocaine causing it to race out of control, the heroin going into slow. He stumbles out into the bar. He has just 1 hour to live. River's drug habit really took
So
hold
upper
after
and a downer. He
began to
took a
spend more and more
Valium
time in
too.
LA. Part of the reason was his growing friendship with Flea. But LA was dangerous for River. The crowds he went with party hard.
It's hard to be young and cool and hip in Los Angeles with money and time and shitloads of exotic drugs at your disposal. There's a point at which
Things can get
drug, sex, rock, and
crazy.
roll can be personally, maybe culturally, artistically rewarding. There's a point where they can be very destructive. And River was fighting those boundaries.
More often than not, River was crossing those boundaries.
My dad, the Ringling Sisters, was holding up. We used to do annual orphanage benefits. Anyway, at one of them we were having at the Roxy. There was a really cute boy passed out backstage in the hallway and just getting worse was holding up. We used to do annual orphanage benefits.
Part of the reason was his growing friendship with Flea. But LA was dangerous for River. The crowds he went with party hard.
It's hard to be young and cool and hip in Los Angeles with money and time and shitloads of exotic drugs at your disposal. There's a point at which drug, sex, rock, and roll can be personally, maybe culturally, artistically rewarding. There's a point where they can be very destructive.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
River was
It's
fighting
a
those
fine
boundaries.
line. Yeah, you can have a little fun, have a little taste, have a little fun, but don't
My
let
dad,
it
the
take
Ringling
over.
Sisters, was holding up.
Yeah.
We used to do annual orphanage benefits. Anyway, at one of them
It
we were
works
having at the
good for
Roxy.
the people that's
There was a really cute boy
entertainment,
passed out
but
backstage in the
it's a
hallway
fine line.
and just getting worse and worse, like sweating and just, looking like it wasn't getting up. And I was like running around being a stage manager and making, doing raffles with the audience and stuff. And finally, I like looked at him and I'm like, who is that really cute and really fucked up boy that's laying on the floor? We have to get him out of here. And someone said, that's River Phoenix. I'm like, that's River Phoenix? Jesus.
In the periods between Idaho and going back to Oregon to work on Eva Cowboys and the blues and scene, and then, it was taking its toll. The drugs were definitely beating him down, and his skin was, his hair was, everything just looked rougher and more whipped up.
River's family were concerned about his visible deterioration and confronted him. But River refused to admit he had a
When
problem.
he started looking skinny.
They were such a beautiful spiritual family and so supportive of him in so many ways. But
Oh man.
like most families, I think a little
It says
painfully unaware
addiction is
of
definitely a
the
spiritual
realities that he
disease.
was going through in terms
Battle.
of the drug addiction.
The family
He
hoped
was
River
still
was River's
handsome,
refuge,
even
that he could
to
rest,
the end.
recuperate, and clean up. But life at home had changed. The family was now attracting hordes of hangers-on. Many of them had drug habits and just wanted to party with the young movie star. Temptation was everywhere.
I turned to River and said, these people are not very well educated and they're completely reactionary and they're just partying and partying and living a glamorous life from one moment to the next. And if they're fucking their lives up, it's not your responsibility and you shouldn't enable that. And if they're fucking your life up, then it's your responsibility to detach yourself from that.
By his last year, River was working hard to clean up his act. But the temptation was always there. Clean periods were always followed by a binge. River's life became a struggle.
Those months were tough. They were tough on everybody who was hovering around the supernova, because it all of a sudden just exploded and was gone.
Inside the Viper room, River has just taken a massive overdose of cocaine and heroin. His body is struggling to survive, but he can still be saved. He just needs help, fast. River Phoenix has less than an hour to live. He's gone to the Viper room on LA's Sunset Strip. His sister Rain, brother Joaquin, and girlfriend Samantha Mathis are in booze drinking. They think River's on stage getting ready to jam with friends. Actually, he's been shut out of the jam session.
So how come they didn't say anything? I mean, okay, so when he found out he couldn't play, 'cause I know his friends, his peoples came to watch him perform. So that is embarrassing. And his peoples came to watch him perform, whatever. So when he couldn't get a chance to perform, why didn't they just all leave together? Like, let's just go or whatever. Like, it seemed like somebody intercepted him or stopped him from, I don't know, from leaving or whatever. But he should have just went back to them and been like, you know what, they won't let me perform. I'm pissed off. Let's just go home. You know?
And disappointed, has just snorted a massive speedball, cocaine and heroin combined.
Oh boy.
River's body has gone into shock.
It's one thing to use heroin and cocaine and everything on a daily
This
basis.
thing is saying he snorted, but that's not true. They said that it was a drink.
Your system becomes used to it, your tolerance stays the same. But when you start and stop and start and stop and start and stop and then always go back to where you left off, you run the risk of overdosing and killing yourself.
Wow.
He was a kid. Kids make mistakes.
Back at the table, River's having a difficult time. It's obvious he's not feeling well, but no one's aware of the effects that the drugs are having on his internal organs.
5 minutes. Remember they said.
Toxicologist Dan.
Remember they said maybe his friends and then people that he came with was in on it too, because he goes to sit back down, and he's going through, and they're like, "Are you okay?" Remember the last video? This was made a year ago, but the first video we seen was made 2 weeks ago. The Sacrifice, their YouTube channel. So I don't know. The friends kind of kept him there, maybe. I don't know, because they said that it took 5 minutes for them to call the police. They saw that he was out of it, and it took 5 minutes for them to do anything. I don't know.
Anderson later analysed River's blood.
There was a very significant amount of heroin and cocaine in his system. There was so much cocaine there, it's astronomical. It's 8 times what we consider lethal. He either didn't realize the purity of the drug and took his standard amount that he normally took, or he took way too much.
He took way too much. Or it was spiked.
Tolerate so much.
Spiked.
And after that tolerance is over with, you're going to die of the drug.
What started out as a fun family reunion is rapidly turning into a nightmare. By his last year, River's drug use had hit its peak. Friends and family pleaded with him to get clean. He started to listen, and the periods between binges grew longer. He began working on a new project with Sasa Raphael. In April, River was approached about a new film, Dark Blood, but there were worries that his drug use had taken too large a toll, and he needed to rest.
I called River more or less every 2 weeks when he was in Florida. And I wanted to know if he was okay, and if he was still in a good mood, if he still liked the story. A little bit, if you want, not to check, but to feel how he was. And I was aware, obviously, that he had been taking drugs before. I was hoping it would be, I would say, calm.
River's father, John, had recently moved to a farm in Costa Rica, but he realised there was a problem and intervened.
His father flew up from his farm, and he never does that. He didn't, at this time, he was just was not interested in coming to this
This
farm.
is his bandmate right here.
But he flew up specifically to convince his son not to go film the next one.
John was just saying, give it a break. I would hope that we can get back to the garden. Take a break. Don't do any more projects for a while. Come live in Costa Rica. Work in the garden. Let's get back to being a family.
Oh.
But River wanted to work with co-star Judy Davis, whom he admired so much, and he was a family breadwinner. He had some 30 people to support. He decided to do the movie. For 7 weeks, the cast and crew of Dark Blood lived and worked in the middle of the Utah desert. All that time, River stayed clean.
I was quite busy, so that there were many times when I started to get the feeling I am so busy with, the preparation of the shoot and the cameras and the this and that I was not spending maybe enough time with River.
Finally, the location wrapped, and the production was moved back to LA for 2 weeks in the studio. River was heading back to Partyland. He took his leave from director George Slouser.
Before leaving, he said, okay, bye, going back to the bad, bad town. And I didn't realize what he meant with the word bad. After his death, I started to understand what the implications were in the world for him.
Inside the club, River has been suffering badly from a drug overdose, vomiting and passing out. At first, Ren and Joaquin weren't aware of just how bad things had got, but as his condition worsens, they drag him outside for some air. As soon as River's body hits the street, he goes into seizures. The vegan with the squeaky clean image is now dying of a drug overdose.
The people around him at that time, it was a kid, it's another young kid, Joaquin, and he's dying in front of them. They don't know what to do. And the people in the bar don't know what to do. They watch this celebrity move around. And they watch this famous person. Do we say something is happening to this famous person? The fame itself kept him from getting what he needed to live.
Whether the fact that River is a celebrity, or the fact that drugs are involved, or the fact that they're terrified by this sudden turn of events, the result is the same. No one calls for an ambulance for a full 5 minutes. Finally, Joaquin takes action. All 911 calls are recorded. This is Joaquin's call.
Okay, calm down a little bit, okay? What's the atmosphere here? It's Sunset and Lobby. It's at the Piper Room. You go on, listen in. Breathing? I don't know. No, I'm going to tell you to breathe. Is it fucking breathing? I don't know if he's breathing. Can I get up here with him? Who's with him right now? My sister. Is it you? My sister? Yeah. Okay, can you talk to her from where you are? I just got it. She's trying to come up. Please get over here. Calm down, okay? Sorry, calm down.
It's 4 minutes before the paramedics arrive. River is lying still. His seizures have stopped and his breathing is shallow. The speedball is attacking his heart. Beating wildly out of sync, his heart is failing, pumping little or no blood. He's running out of time.
Oh shit. So why it took 5 minutes for them to call for help? Every second count, that 5 minutes could have saved his life.
And then we started CPR, intubated him to control his airway, and started an IV, and gave him a series of drugs to attempt to restore his heart.
Back at the Hotel Nico, 2 of River's closest friends, Dickie and Abby Roode, have no idea their friend is in trouble.
We got a phone call at the hotel, a hysterical phone call. I can't remember from who, whether it was his brother or his sister. Went to the bar and rushed up the street. It wasn't that far away. But it was a terrifying shock. A terrifying shock to see your best friend lying on the sidewalk with paramedics standing over him and a crowd of people around dressed up in Halloween costumes. And it was just incomprehensible for me.
Right, yeah.
Having failed to restart his heart, the paramedics prepare to transport the lifeless young actor to the closest emergency room. News of the incident has spread
Mind
to the
you,
club.
Johnny Depp
Flea
was
runs
there.
outside the mounds to travel with River to the hospital.
Oh, Flea ran outside. See,
But it's too
that's
late
his
for River
boy.
to Phoenix.
That's his
It's now
homie.
dead at 1:51 a.m., October 31st, 1993.
I remember when I heard that, I remember where I was. I remember being just devastated, that he died that way, And I was surprised, despite thinking that I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what people say. It was his time and he was ready to go. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He loved life and he cherished and nurtured life.
Yeah, he deserved to live a full life. Yeah.
He has something to cherish and nurture.
Yeah.
I went with his sister and we brought his ashes home. And I don't remember this as long as I live. I think his ashes to his mother. And she held them like a baby. And it was one of the most tragic things I've ever seen in my life.
He's become a kind of mystical being in people's lives, somebody that inspires them, not because of his tragedy, but because of that quality that he had, which was always spiritual. So that when you see him, that magical thing didn't die with him.
He was a good friend. He brought out the best in you. And I miss him a lot.
Alright, that was good. Always hijacking my can. My zero sugar ginger ale. Let's see. I don't know how they tried to paint his parents as loving. This is the comments. They exploited him and treated him like their financial meal. I think his parents are abusive in their exploitation. Okay. Yep, lazy bum parents. Get a job, provide for your children. You decided to have them, so take care of them. Yeah, they had them kids hustling when they was little. That's fucked up. They use their kids as mules. I'm very mixed when I read about his parents, and a lot of his problems stem from his abuse in the Children of God cult when we was really little. It's rumored he was initiated into sex at the age of 4. Oh, man. Oh, man. Then he was pushed into the showbiz along with his siblings when they returned back to the States. Yeah, so the exploitation never stopped. Damn. However, none of them ever seemed to have anything bad to say about their parents. And there are plenty of photos of River showing his mom affection. So clearly he didn't blame the parents. Yeah, he probably just was like, oh, they was brainwashed, or I don't know. Yeah, he loved them unconditionally. But I feel they do hold most of the responsibility for him feeling so overwhelmed and turning to drugs. Yeah, his parents separated when he was a teenager. Okay, I didn't know that. Agree, he should have not been expected to support six family members. He needed more nurturing from his parents. They let him down. Yep. Let's see. You have no idea what you are talking about. This is the type of thing that he hated the most. Judging and gossiping about things you know nothing about. He absolutely loved his parents, and his entire family was very close. Mm. From what I've seen of River, I believe you are correct. Poor kid. The children were they were in the Children of God cult from 1973 to 1977. Okay, so about 4 years. So they were certainly into alternative lifestyles. Every picture, the father looks like a crazy person. Yeah, he do. He had extremely loving parents. They just had an unconventional family situation. Yeah, they're like the wild thornberries or something. The reports also exaggerate that he was supporting everyone. That's inaccurate. He's undeniably made more money than his parents, but he wasn't shouldering the whole financial burden for the family all by himself. His parents both worked and they were bringing up his younger siblings when he was basically on his own. When a child makes a lot of money and when they give their family a huge chunk of that money, it's hard for their parents. They don't have the agency to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. His parents were also having their own marital issues when River was older, and his father was in Costa Rica, but they weren't pressuring him into doing anything that he didn't want to do. If he decided to quit acting, they would have been totally supportive of whatever he wanted. I can understand why some people might perceive that his parents weren't on the ball, but they really were loving parents. Nevertheless, by the time River died, he was an adult, and there wasn't much influence that they had. Hmm. They might have had an atypical family, but they loved each other and respected each other and couldn't have loved them more. Yeah, I guess everybody had opinions. I'm reading all the comments, not all of them, but just different varying ones, so it doesn't be so one-sided. Okay, his parents were in a cult. That is why their children had different names than normal. They also did everything to escape the cult when they realized the twisted things that were going on. River loved his parents completely and always said they allowed him to do what made him happy. More than an hour, people watched him vomit. More than an hour, people had watched him vomit, pass out, and die slowly. He could have been alive today. That's what I'm saying. Like he could have. It was just a setup. That's what it looked like to me. Somebody said I heard it happened very quickly. People on drugs in their late teens and early 20s aren't the most responsible or sharp thinking individuals. All you gotta do is keep them from passing out. The phone call with his brother is the saddest thing ever. You could hear the terror and the pain. Yeah, yeah. The 911 call has got to be traumatic for Joaquin to hear after all these years later. I worked across the street from the Viper room from 6 to midnight. I watched celebrities come and go there all the time. I never went in. I was too tired. um, I know he was trying to calm down Joaquin. How could you say calm down when your brother is dying right in front of you? Imagine being relied on by your parents as a child. Sad story, and bad parents. Stay away from drugs. I was and still a huge River Phoenix fan. I remember seeing him in Stand By Me. It's sad that he left this world so young. Yeah. Hmm. This was one massive cover up that should have been investigated further. He didn't snort that speedball. He was handed a cup which contained the lethal drugs dissolved into a liquid by a friend he thought he trusted. Yeah, it wasn't a snort. See? There goes confirmation right there. Yes, and there were more players involved. Johnny Depp, co-owner of the Viper Room, flew to France immediately after River Phoenix's death. What? Damn, he flew to France. That nigga was scared as fuck. He didn't want nobody questioning his ass. Damn. So Johnny Depp flew to France right after River died, and Joe Franti was hiding from the police. They were jealous of River. That's so sad how jealousy can cause so much harm. River was supporting his family. He had pressures, and they took him away from his family. Wow. Nasty, man. Nasty. He had a lot going on. People could be jealous of you, and they have no idea what the fuck you've been through. He didn't look like what he'd been through. And people could be so jealous of you, and they don't even realize how hard you had it. You probably had it 10 times worse than them. Had to get it out of the mud. And these type of people that like to take from people, they have an easy life for the most part. They have an easy life. They're just able to just continuously take from others without not even thinking about it, without even, giving it a second thought. And they take from people that really have to get out the mud. These are people that don't have to work hard for anything. They just used to just taking, copying, mirroring, and harming others. Sad. It's really sad. Damn, I didn't know that though. That's news to me. I didn't know that he skipped the country as soon as he died. Damn. Another nigga hiding from the police. Oh. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Um, River Phoenix was going to be a Hollywood legend. His story should have not ended there. I'm so mad that I don't know how his future would have turned out. I could see him in films like Titanic. Yeah, he could. All those movies that they did, he could have did it. Yeah, he could have at least been a legend if he was clean, but he kept doing the drugs. Maybe it just have fizzled out. Filmmakers don't put up with that stuff, especially when it's on set. It's a liability issue. Being John Frusciante's friend was deadly at that time. He and Johnny Depp killed River Phoenix, allegedly. Pushed by parents into an unreal world, a place where escape through drugs is a way of life. He just sailed away and joined all the young talented artists. So sad to hear Joaquin on the phone call, on the 911 call. Poor baby, he must have went through it. Yeah, he turned out to be another great talented actor in the family. Mm. He was emotionally fragile, lacked healthy constructive coping mechanisms, immediately turned to drugs to cope with sadness and disappointments. He was also very young and was supporting of his entire family and others. Not one that young should have that much pressure. I think his parents should have been more responsible and sensitive to the needs of their eldest son. Why was such a talent prevented from playing? Who gave him the poison? So yeah, it's like somebody didn't want him to perform. Him performing with Flea, that would have drew a lot of attention to him, and people would have checked out his music, and then his band would have got popular just by off of that. Because Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were hot at that time. They was, what I mean, they was famous. Oh please spare us the psychological analysis. Um, his life was bold, authentic. He was incredibly talented and standing out in so many ways. He is not for anybody to put him in narrow-minded boxes. Yeah, beyond tragic and completely avoidable. I can't imagine how traumatic it must have been to witness your sibling or your friend like that die in front of you, or how River himself must have felt so young. Don't do freaking drugs, kids. I had a love at first sight crush on someone as a teen because he looked so much like River Phoenix. We got married eventually, but get but he too sadly passed away from an overdose. Wow, that's interesting. Hmm. This just reminded me about that love at first sight and how River kind of brought us together. So so sad all the way around. Yes, and he looked like him and he died like him. Wow, that's weird. Parallel lives, huh? Definitely a tragedy that was avoidable. River Phoenix was an amazing actor, musician, and individual. A cautionary reminder to be aware of how dangerous street drugs are. One never knows what they are getting. They are laced with substances that can make your heart stop at once. Hmm. Let's see. He had a full package. He was a handsome young man. He had the personality, the swagger. He was an amazing actor. He pulled out the stops and made it so effortless. You should have thrown that woman off the set and replaced her. She sounds vile. That's what I'm saying. That night, they should have replaced her. Hmm. Let's see. He had an incredibly kind and gentle nature, and something that is missing a lot in Hollywood. Johnny Depp paid him to. He was jealous of River and wanted him gone so that he could rise. I know you feel strongly about this. Please don't take this as disrespect. Though my own addiction, I have lost many friends. It's hard to watch people who supplied them with drugs walk free. But we have to remember, no one held a gun to his head and said, you have to shoot this dope. Pranked him how? Okay, let me see. The real mystery is the demise of the co-owner of the Viper Room. So he died too? Anthony Vivian Fox. So he died. They said he disappeared. They said that he threatened to sue Johnny Depp and then he disappeared. So this comment here said that he died. That's the co-owner because him and Johnny Depp both own the Viper Room. So the real mystery is the demise of the co-owner of the Viper Room, Depp's business partner Anthony Vivian Fox. Whoa. Okay. Oh. 8 times over the lethal limit sounds like an M to me. The story I was told was that Johnny made it to where River couldn't play that night. See, oh, like he sabotaged him. Yeah, it's like he didn't want him on stage with Flea. Like he didn't want the attention because I think that he would steal the show. Him and Flea doing the jam session, that would have stole the show. He didn't want that to happen because it was going to draw a lot of attention. But I mean, shit, if it wasn't you, it still happened at your club. And you may not be the main attraction, but at least your business is the main attraction. So why you hating, bitch? It would have drew more people to come to your fucking club. Like, oh my goodness. People, jealous people are stupid. Okay, this person said, the story I was told was that Johnny made it to where River couldn't play that night because he did not want River showing him up on stage. That's what I said. That's what I was thinking. And at some point, about 30 minutes before he fell out on Sunset, Johnny had somebody give him a drink. And supposedly that drink is how River ingested so much cocaine and heroin that it caused the overdose. I do not believe River would have snorted the equivalent of 2 to 3 grams of coke at one time on top of snorting a normal amount of heroin. It just don't make sense. I have always believed that the person who gave him that quote unquote drink killed him via drug overdose and a perfect murder too. Rest in peace to River Jude Phoenix. That was his middle name. Oh, okay. He was not sober when he got to the Viper Room. His hair was cut short and dyed black for the last film, so you can tell how much research wasn't done for this documentary. You are so right. I just watched it. It was eerie how he passed away in the end of that movie, to then passed away for real not long after shooting the movie. What's the name of the movie again? Uh, I don't know what movie that was. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't know. Let's see. Johnny Depp named his club the Viper Room. Here is where the word viper originates from. Thank you. Finally, somebody said it because I was like, yeah, it's just a. And then it happened on Halloween and just like, yeah, just where I was lining up. It's crazy. Okay, so it says Johnny Depp named his club the Viper Room. Here's the word viper. Here's where the word viper originates from. And think about this. The original definition of viper is a contraction of the Latin vipera, which means living and bearing. This refers to the belief that vipers give birth to live young, unlike many other snakes that may lay eggs. The word is rooted in the idea of a living creature being brought forth, and its use become widespread due to the venomous snakes of the family found in Europe and in Asia. Hmm. To give birth to remain young. They give birth to remain young. Hmm. Absolutely heartbreaking. River has so much living to do, so much to offer. The music that plays is so eerie and ominous that it shows us a pivotal moment that will determine. Okay, I feel like he started losing himself as he got older. People take advantage and care less of when we lose ourselves. He's always said he didn't like the LA party scene because deep down inside he knew he had a delicate mind and being in harsh environments that didn't agree with him, but he wanted to be in the music scene, so he was torn. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he would have came to that boys club if he knew that they were jealous of him. He wasn't gonna go there, but he wanted to perform. That was the only reason why he's there. Music, drugs, alcohol, party numbs the abuse he went through as a kid. Or just stick to acting and live a quiet life. Child actual abuse usually makes us choose the party scene when we are that young. Yeah, to distract them. My sister loved River Phoenix when we were young teens back in the 90s. Now, after watching his story of his final day, he sounded like a very sensitive person. Bless him. I hope his soul is at peace or he's enjoying his next reincarnation without drugs. I was living on Sunset in Clark. I was partying at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. I was at the Viper that week with Johnny and Christian Slater. Okay. This has to break his brother's heart reliving that. Okay. The story of how River died is a cover up to hide the fact that the movie industry elites or some corrupt as hell group of people murdered him allegedly for what he knew about them allegedly. This is what I heard. Allegedly. Okay. Now, no one we can say that can't be saved. All of them are open. See, Judy Davis made his skin crawl. Did you see his silhouette after the last take? He died hours after. It makes me think that he was unsettled. He already had a bad day. That bitch was acting weird. Then he was supposed to perform, and Johnny Depp was acting weird. And I don't know. It was just everybody was a little off that day. It was very like auspicious, but in a bad way. Ominous, I would say. It was very ominous. Like, yeah, he definitely was unsettled. He definitely was. Because just imagine having to act and you're acting with somebody that's so unpleasant and you're just trying to finish up this scene and they're just acting real disturbing, like just weird, demonic, like, you know? So he was disturbed after that scene. and then he parties with his family, and then he goes to the club thinking that his family's gonna watch him perform, so he can feel a little bit better that for that night. And he didn't even get a chance to do that. Like people just wanted to snatch his glory. It's crazy. Oh boy. It says he was emotionally fragile. I think her attitude towards him was the reason he was getting wasted to forget his trauma with her. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Let me see. Is there any good clubs? Okay. Dark. Wait. Hold on. Dark Blood, the movie, is nothing I would wish someone who's emotionally fragile, especially not with a hostile starring lady. Shame on Judy Davis. So young and phenomenal. I wish one of the wise older Hollywood legends would have stepped in and guided him. Hmm. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. He was so young and more to live in his life. He was a legend in life. He was an international pinup. I was watching MTV when the news came out that he had died. He's a great actor. Mm. I remember being on vacation in September '93. We drove by the Viper Room. I was thinking, what a weird looking place. All black, flat black, I believe. No windows. A month later, River overdosed there, and I seen it on TV. And there was that building. It was a total dump inside and out. Yes, flat black, entirely dark. Had it not been famously owned, no one would have noticed it. Packed and couldn't move with 200 people inside, including the basement where Leo Affleck's Aniston, FYI. River was supposed to have the roles Leo got that made him famous. Oh, okay. So let's see. What's the roles that Leo played? Okay, who's eating Gilbert's grave? Titanic. Um, the Man in the Iron Mask. Basically, most of the movies they did. Okay, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, because I think he would have been phenomenal in Man in the Iron Mask. Oh yeah, I think he would have been great. River was supposed to have the roles Leo got. Excuse me, that made him famous because they got rid of his rival. Not that Leo was the only jealous one who needed him out the way. Multiple people did River wrong and evil. Don't have to believe the truth. Mm, yeah. Wait, what about the guy who gave him a mystery drink before he went outside? The guy who gave it to him fled the scene, or the fight he got into that led him being ejected out the club. See, I didn't even know he got in a fight. See, I didn't know he got in a fight. Was there a fight? Samantha said she believed River was fighting with someone, but then realized that the man was escorting River out the club. Oh wait, somebody said that him and Johnny were arguing earlier that day, so maybe that was the fight they're talking about. Maybe River and Johnny probably got in a fight and they put him out the club. Maybe that was the case. He was fighting with someone, but then realized that the man was escorting River out the club. He collapsed immediately to the street, face down, feeling sick, and started convulsing. Hmm. The mystery drink is just an unsubstantiated fable. Why does everything have to be a conspiracy to some of you? River was a drug addict and deep into it at the time of his death. That's facts. Control opposition in the comment sections. You know how that go. Johnny Depp was the ringleader, jealous of his success. They keep mentioning him and John Frusciante, something like that, allegedly. Drugs most of the time is drugs most of the time is self-medicating due to childhood trauma. Hollywood is a bad place for children to be wake-up parents. Also, I think he was murdered either as a cult as a sacrifice. It was on Halloween night. Or, like the theory I like the best, is that he was murdered to show anyone in Hollywood, including the next royalty, can be killed just to prove a point, and also to get the actors to lessen their drug use because it costs money for them. It costs money to them. Insurance handler to make sure he shows up, delays in filming. It was all adding up and costing the men who invest in Hollywood to lose profit and a little control. But they were able to keep it contained for the most part in LA, which is super interesting. He was laid out on a popular night for people to be outside, so maximum viewage, a spooky night so that they can make all these false narratives to lead any investigation back to the investor or the actual ones in power. It makes complete sense from an accounting, legal, and insurance point of view. Just my thoughts, though I'm not saying I'm even right a little, but this was fascinating me since he died. Him and Corey Haim, they are just intriguing even now. Mm. Don't confuse someone's unique quality and talent, the it factor people drawn to them, with being on drugs. Okay, let's see. The director seen the angel in him, true to evil Hollywood status. They ruined God's angels through sin. Hollywood is pure evil. Okay, whoever sold him those drugs, knowing he was clean for a while, should have at least made sure he didn't overdo it, especially when he first uses. Yeah, because they said he was clean while filming. So they were really trying to get him back into it. Everything or was orchestrated in a way to get him back into it. They knew his triggers, you know. Let's see. Or he could have not taken the drugs knowing his tolerance was different, could have been done less. Expecting drug dealers to care for your health is preposterous. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. At your own risk, right? River was amazing. On October 30th, River went to play with Red Hot Chili Peppers, and for some reason they shut him out. He went there sober. Wait, but hold on. River was amazing. On October 30th, 1993, River went to play with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and for some reason they shut him out. He went there sober to play with them. After he was shut out, he started doing drugs, and Joe Franti gave him a glass of alcohol mixed with drugs. Rivers spent an hour throwing up, and no one called the EMS. Wow. It's because they knew what it was. Seemed like everybody was under there. I don't know. It seemed weird. Nobody didn't think to check on him or nothing. A whole hour? What? Joaquin Phoenix and his girlfriend were there, and they didn't notice River until he was thrown out by bodyguards. They probably kicked him out because he was thrown up, or he was, I don't know. He was seizing on the sidewalk. Then they just threw him out. They gave him this. I guess when he started throwing up, maybe the bouncers decided, "Oh, you throwing up all over the place. You gotta go." And he probably picked him up and yeah, left him outside. That's fucked up. That's when Joaquin called an ambulance, and that's when Joaquin called an ambulance, and River died that night or early morning. Um, Franti was hiding from the police, and Johnny Depp, who was there that night, as he was the co-owner of the Viper Room, he fled to France. I wholeheartedly believe that Franti and Depp were responsible for River's death because of jealousy. Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow. Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow. Wow. John Frusciante earlier that evening. John came over and gave him a drink with smack in it. If it's ingested that way, it becomes toxic, and with what he already had affected him badly, and John would have known this as he's been on smack for ages at this point. That's weird. And Johnny, who partly owned the club, was actually jealous of River for hanging out previously with Winona Ryder, who Johnny used to date, had a tattoo, and still loved. Those two were not mentioned in this bullshit version, and they both hid away soon Dibble as the Dibble turned up. I think Johnny even legged it out if the country. I think he legged it out of the country for a bit. I'm not suggesting anything, but it's weird, very strange. And also, who doesn't call a flipping ambulance when you know he's taking different drugs and is in a bad way for almost an hour? You call the ambulance before he gets really bad, not wait until he's nearly dead. And he didn't go out for air. The bouncers lashed him out. Wait, what is he? Brother, wait until last minute. Oh, the bouncers lashed him out. His brother waited right until the last minute. Then he became famous. Then he became the famous one in the family. Yep, that is weird. Because I think that if he didn't get to perform, they should have just went home. But the mission was he was supposed to stay there. He was supposed to be there. Not suggesting anything, but very strange. Was handled uber. Wait, hold on. Was handled uber badly and was a bit sus. Hmm. Yeah, he did. He did end up becoming the famous brother. Okay. John Frusciante gave him the hot dose. Johnny Depp had nothing to do with it, nor was he afraid of being held accountable outside of the reality that had happened in his space and on his watch. His brother was absolutely devastated. There was no ulterior motive or plot behind anything that happened that night. This tragedy was merely a horrible accident. Frusciante might have been responsible for giving him the fatal opiate laced cocktail when he had no tolerance to handle it, but it wasn't a deliberately orchestrated attempt to eliminate him. Yeah, your ass sound guilty, bitch. Who are you? Who are you? You never know who be commenting on these things. They don't want people to put two and two together, so they'll have these like controlled opposition bots comment all over the page. I have been doing smack during 15 years and never heard of a drink spiked with it. It's just too bitter. I often wondered if people around River praised his musical abilities because they didn't want to offend the movie star. If more people had honestly pointed out his mediocrity on the guitar, he might have been better prepared for the Viper Room letdown. I feel like people constantly appeasing the young man is what caused his death. Huh, that's a weird take. Let's see. I think the pressure to support an entire clan from a young age was more to blame. The drugs were a self medicating attempt to alleviate stress and pain. His parents should have stepped in much sooner to help him. Yeah. And he could have gotten better with his guitar if you think that he's mediocre. He could have gotten better at it. He didn't even get a chance. Shit. River was looking forward to jamming that night. It had nothing to do with how good he was. Exactly. I heard him play. The possibility that he wasn't playing the same level as the rest and therefore was cut from the jam is valid. People not being upfront with the poor guy is also a possibility and a shame. Can apply this to Johnny Depp's musicianship as well. Seems like Johnny Depp had the maturity to understand if one thing wasn't working, try something else. He appears to have done this from a young age, and I have no idea who, if anyone, was counseling him. Depp has maturity. Did you did you mean rotten brain? Johnny Depp was jealous of River Phoenix, and I believe he caused his death allegedly. Actually, River wasn't good on the guitar. They shut him out because they were jealous of him. Joe Franchini, whatever his name is, had given him drugs in a glass full of alcohol, which caused his death. Johnny Depp was the co-owner of the Viper Room, and when River died, he fled to France, and Frusciante was hiding from the police. This is what jealousy does to people. They harm others because of their jealousy of them. He already knew that in part. He already knew that in part. If you read some of the bios, he was told that the music was okay, but his voice wasn't lead vocal quality. No, he was supposed to play on stage. He invited his family after working on set with a difficult woman, his apparent love interest. He totally hated her. They went to the Viper excited to play. He was off of heroin for a while filming. When he was done, he started using again and thought that he can use the amounts that he was for. And he just stopped. And you just can't do that. The body isn't used to those amounts anymore. I remember he was given Valium in the bathroom. The fatal adverse reaction to what he'd taken ended up in the street. I read a good book about it in early 1996. It was a tragedy in 1983. The world was in shock. He had started using drugs when filming My Own Private Idaho. Oh, okay. He was fighting spiritual warfare against good and evil. I do believe that as well. All right, guys. So that is pretty much it. And yeah, there's plenty of other videos. It's a very fascinating story. I'm gonna go back to that guy, the Sacrifice channel. I'm gonna go back to his channel, and yeah, I'm gonna go back to his channel and see what he got. See what other people he got on there. I like them type of I like that we're watching them type of things. So anyways, so thank you guys for watching this video. I've been on here for about 3 hours. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's up for my replay play game. I'm just gonna watch a couple of more videos, but I don't want to be on here. Ooh, I don't want to be on here too long. Well, that was fun. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Gotta love you. Gotta love me. Bye.